Excellent.
Yeah. Ready
Sorry,
to talk about the movies?
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely.
Arturo said you stopped by the theater the other day.
I did, yeah. I met up with Matt. We went to see a movie together, and then he and I saw a movie, and then like I pretty much just met up with everyone from the theater, including Arturo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first time I've been there in over a year. So.
Oh yeah, good long while. What film did you see?
So we saw The Forever Purge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just an average Purge movie.
Just typical Purge, yeah.
Yeah.
You went to go see it with my other friend Christian.
I thought about going to see Pig this past or last week, but I was too busy, so I didn't.
It's really good.
It was good.
I heard it was good.
Yes.
Yeah. Does it end good? Does it
I saw it a couple days ago. Very good movie.
I've heard good things about it. So
it's funny. I never heard of it, and then we had it at our movie theater.
Yeah.
And then Matt Ron was talking about that it got a really high score, and then my other friend Phoebe, she saw it that Sunday, and I asked her, and she said it was really good. So maybe we should check that out at some point.
Have you seen it, Simon? I couldn't tell if you said it was really good or you heard it was good.
I heard it was good. Haven't seen it.
Yeah. It looks like it's sad. Just like melancholy is what it makes me think about when he's just alone and he's got this poor pig and the pig gets kidnapped or something. So I don't know. I feel like I want to know if it ends good before I go see it. Because that's the kind of mood I'm in right now. I don't know. Poor Nick Cage. I feel like he's gonna meet his demise in there or something. But, and I hope the pig ends up being okay, but I have a feeling it's not. Oh well, we're getting started off on 93 discussion with a 2021 film.
Yeah,
no better way than that.
Right.
So we are going to begin this episode with 1993. I've seen 2 movies from this year as of recently, but we could at least talk about the number 1 in the box office for 97, and that is Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Uno. And I did see this one too.
Yes, you have. You've
really,
seen actually a few from here.
It's a really good really good movie, but also the fact that was kind of, would you say, the stepping stone for 3D?
There's
3D
Colin.
like there's Colin. Hey Colin.
Hey Colin.
Hey,
how you doing?
It's going good.
Good. We just got started. Arturo just mentioned the number 1 movie for 93, which is Jurassic Park. So that's what we started talking about.
I was just talking about it with my mom. Yep. I think it's one of the great movies of all time. Like not just of the year, but of all time, all movies ever. It's
Did you
best.
Did you read the book?
Yeah, it's funny because I was 8 years old that summer it came out, and I was obsessed with it. My parents wouldn't let me see it.
Oh.
I got all the merchandise I could. Like I had the magazine, board game, the toys, like everything I could. Then I got the book, and I read the book. I was 8 years old, and I read that book in like 5 days a week, maybe. And it was pretty violent. Like it was.
Yes, it was. It scared me. That book actually scared me, and I was a grown-ass adult when I read that book, and I was actually afraid there was a velociraptor under the bed. I'm not kidding you.
It was serious, yeah.
It was so good, though.
It was, and that was by the end of the summer, they let me go see it. They broke down, and I saw it a few times in the theaters, and it was like, I mean, 8 years old was the perfect age. It was like, it still is one of the best movies ever. I think it's like a perfect movie.
I was gonna say like it was the stepping stone for 3D like animation being put into like live action. I would say, with,
like the computer,
the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. Like I would say, would you guys? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say a lot of people remember it as it being an achievement in CG. Yeah, it was actually sort of the zenith of practical effects. That's when they reached their peak.
Oh, okay.
I would say, would you guys think it still holds up?
Oh yeah, I do. I mean,
Absolutely.
I feel like, I was actually getting ready to mention that I feel like it holds up really well. And I also feel like it was now it's been a long, long time since I listened to the book. It's been a few years ago that I rewatched it for I don't know how many times I've seen it, but I feel like it was a decent representation of the book, but I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that was changed or was missing.
I think so. Yeah.
But
I mean,
I'm happy with it.
Anytime you take a long book into a 2-hour movie, you've got to change it. But I think they kept the essence of the book, and I mean maybe even made it more accessible. I mean it was just I think that was just talking about where that movie, you could throw that movie to someone in 100 years and it just be like, this is a movie. One of the great movies to represent.
And the science seems so real too. If you stop and think about how they were doing the DNA because of the fly that was trapped in the amber or something like that. And I was like, and that was really scary to think about. Oh my gosh, I hope nobody gets any ideas for the future. What's that, Mike?
I said, here's hoping that won't be the case.
I have seen articles floating around here and there about this sort of thing becoming a potential possibility, and that's a little scary.
No.
I don't think DNA can last that long.
I'm more scared about.
I would hope not.
No.
I think Skynet is worse than dinosaurs. That's what we got to be worried about.
Yeah, and that's probably an even more real possibility, and that's scary too.
Wouldn't we just say both are scary in their own way?
They both are.
Dinosaurs.
I mean,
from the future.
I mean,
From the future.
I mean, like what Shia LaBeouf said, nothing is impossible.
Oh, well. Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked the first one. I never saw the second one, but yeah. I think it still holds up.
I think the second one's decent, but the first one's an all-time classic.
It's been so long since I've seen the second one, and I think I only saw it once, and I couldn't tell you now what it's about. I don't even remember the setting.
Well, we'll get to it in 97, I think.
Oh, that's when that's when it.
I know.
There's all these mercenaries and stuff that he has. Malcolm goes with his daughter who's black. Vince Vaughn's in it. Julianne Moore's in it.
Oh, Vince Vaughn is in it? Goodness.
The first time I ever saw him in.
Wow.
Steven
well, I didn't
directed.
recognize him as an actor at that point. What's that, Artur?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and also why it's also very good is Steven Spielberg directed it, I believe.
Yeah,
I think he was director or producer.
Directed what?
Jurassic Park.
He did the sequel too. But yeah,
he did do the sequel. Okay.
I was gonna say that too, where I don't know if any directors had a year like Spielberg did in '93, where he did Jurassic Park, which was biggest movie ever at the time, and then Schindler's List.
Schindler's List, yeah.
Yes.
Won all the Oscars and still talked about. I don't know if any director had won within 6 months did that. The biggest box office and the biggest Oscar winner. It's really, Spielberg's good.
Quite the year for him, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the 80s was one of his bigger decades, and then 93 comes along. He gets 2 of his movies in the box office, top 10.
Yeah, the top 10. Yeah.
He can do it. I mean, he's a good.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's also amazing how he was able to make 2 films, one that's a, summer blockbuster kind of film, and the other one is just, a raw, tragic, look into one of the most devastating moments of human history kind of thing.
Yeah.
2 completely different tones.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the thing about Spielberg. He can switch. It's not like he's a movie director that's just one type and that's it.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino, he has this particular type that he does.
Or Guy Ritchie.
And Guy Ritchie. But Spielberg, he can go all over the place. He's very versatile as a director.
Yeah, I think he's a really good director.
Yep, he is.
Did you know that James Cameron was actually lined up to direct a sequel to Schindler's List?
Schindler's
List. Really?
That's not real.
Schindler's List.
Oh, you're pulling our leg.
Okay,
he's not even right over here, and it's still going right over my head.
There was also the sequel that was mentioned in Robot Chicken. Schindler's List too. Schindler's Pissed.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that. I don't watch
Robot Chicken is pretty, like, what I did like about that show was just the stop motion, because I was into that.
Yeah, you still are. You still are into
I
that.
am, and that's why I still like Robot Chicken to some degree. But.
Well, that and they're like, you can tell that the people who make that show, like all the segments that they make, are like dedicated to the original source material that they parody. Like you can tell that they were huge fans of it, whatever they're parodying.
That Star Wars, some
I
of the
think
video
I've seen
game
a clip
stuff.
of a Star Wars parody they did. That might be about it. I can't remember.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that stuff is funny. So number
Jeff,
2.
we will get to Tombstone in a bit, because I did put Tombstone.
Yeah,
down.
I forgot about that. That's another one I saw that year. So Mr. Doubtfire,
Mrs. Doubtfire,
Mrs. Doubtfire, yeah,
that was number 2.
I forgot about that coming out in '93.
There was actually a lot of films, you guys. I was a little surprised. I went through the list, and this time I just wrote down all the ones that I had either seen and enjoyed or hadn't seen, but I heard was really good or was impactful or whatever. And it's a long list, and I didn't even write down all the ones I'd seen.
Yeah.
It really surprised me.
Yeah, a lot of memorable films.
I don't think I've seen True Romance.
I have. That was Tarantino's script, maybe his first script, the first script that got produced.
Okay. Yeah, isn't that Patricia Arquette?
Yeah.
Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette.
Christian Slater. I was going to say.
Or no,
directed by Tony Scott.
Wait, Christian Slater. What's that girl's name?
Patricia Arquette.
Wait, Brad Pitt was in True Romance as well?
Mm-hmm. He played a bit part. He was like the roommate, the stoned roommate.
Okay, there was another film that he was in that I thought also came out in '93 that starred
California?
Yeah, that one. Was that
I'm thinking of Natural Born Killers, actually. No, I did see True Romance. I know that one, but I got it mixed up on my head for a second. Natural Born Killers is that other one.
Okay.
I think Tarantino wrote both of them.
Gosh, I don't remember which ones of these I've seen. I don't think I've seen True Romance. I just remember the poster for it and thought it was Patricia Arquette. What's it about? Is it like it's Quentin Tarantino script. So yeah, crime, right. Mm-hmm. Okay. They go on like a crime spree or something? Or what?
I don't really remember, actually. I know I saw it when I was obsessed with Tarantino. It was a while back.
Basically, they come across a suitcase of drugs, and then they try to sell it.
Okay. And then people come after them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
That's the plot.
All right. Sounds... Oh, sorry, Arturo. Were you popping stuff up at the same time I was?
Well, no, I was close in that one, but I've only seen like clips of it's Mrs. Doubtfire, right?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. I just remember he would dress up as the girl or the elderly lady.
I had that movie on VHS. That was like one of the movies I would watch religiously.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's comedic, but it's also a little tragic to me. To me, it was kind of sad. The lengths that he went to just have access to his kids because he wasn't able to be around them as himself.
Right.
So I thought it was, I don't know. It always kind of makes me sad when I think of, but then anything with Robin Williams makes me sad now anyway. So
yeah, understandable. Yeah.
Just because, but yeah.
Number 3 is The Fugitive with Harrison Ford.
Did you watch it, Arturo?
Yeah, I did. I watched it.
Yeah, last week.
I liked it. I thought it was really, really well done.
Cool.
Tommy Lee Jones is so good in there. What
was the lines that he would say these lines?
Like it's just like his character in there was so Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Like there's that one scene that cracked me up, and it was just one word he said, but it was the way he said it. He got.
Was it that?
What was it? Somebody was telling him
after he jumped. After Harrison Ford jumped.
I don't remember, but he was getting some news that he didn't like, And just he's like, what? Like that. It was just the way he said it. It just tickled me. But he was so good in there. So now I want to rewatch the second one.
Oh, U.S. Marshals. I forgot that about that movie.
Yeah, I was going through my DVDs today, and I pulled that out because I'd forgotten that I had it in my collection. But yeah, I've got both of those.
Wait, that was a sequel to The Fugitive?
Yes, it was, but it had Wesley Snipes and Robert Downey Jr. in it. And
Really?
The only thing I remember was, of course, Wesley Snipes in this one was the one on the run. And I remember Robert Downey Jr.'s character, but I'm not going to say anything more about that because that would give away a plot twist. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so The Fugitive, I guess everybody here knows it was loosely based on the story of Sam Shepard.
Yeah.
The doctor.
I thought it's based on a TV show. Is that based on a real?
The TV show was based on a real story of Dr. Sam Shepard. I think that was his name. That was his real name, Sam Shepard. And his wife was killed. And I can't remember if he also said that it was someone with one arm or if that just was something that came from the movies or TV show. But BuzzFeed Unsolved did a segment on his story. I don't remember how long ago they did it, but we watched it like a year or so ago, Arturo. They were talking about the story of the doctor and his wife, and it's
never heard of it.
Story.
I don't think they never found out who did it.
Well, I think there's doubt as to whether it was really him, but there's also a lot of evidence against him. So I don't know.
That's why it's unsolved.
Well, I mean, he went to jail, I think he went to jail.
Yeah, but then he became like a boxer, but he ended up dying like in his 40s or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten those details. It's interesting, though.
And that's what The Fugitive is based on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It's really good.
Well, I mean, it's Harrison Ford, so.
Yeah.
John's
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
I don't care. That's right. All right, that was right before.
And he even had the guy from Bad Boys too, which is funny. That one guy
the
that
guy
was
who played the captain in Bad Boys.
It's funny. He's a cop in '93.
Joe Pantolino, is that his name?
Then he's the guy that runs that police department in Bad Boys.
And he was in The Matrix as well.
He was in The Matrix?
Yes, he was.
Oh yeah, he played that. Well, we'll get to Matrix in '99.
Wait, which guy are you talking about though? Who was he in The Matrix?
What's his last name? He was the guy who betrayed them.
Joey Pants.
Yeah, him.
Joey Pants. Yeah,
he was in The Fugitive.
I just saw him in Congo, and I was thinking like,
I forgot he was in that.
That reminds me of Bill Burr a little bit, like just kind of the way he talks, I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I can see that a little bit. Yeah.
So number 4, Schindler's List. Now,
yes,
I will say it was either between Schindler's List and a few others. I went with okay, what was that film again, Mom? I keep forgetting.
Which film?
The one I just saw was Wesley's Demolition Man. Yeah, because I was kind of into Wesley Snipes.
Oh, you mean what you were wanting to watch? What you were trying to decide to watch?
I guess I need to be in the right mood to watch Schindler's List.
Schindler's List for me was like a one-time viewing.
Yeah, once is enough.
Yeah,
honestly, I can see it again.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I do kind of gravitate towards films of that kind of like emotion.
Really?
But like,
yeah, I mean, I get it. It's there's not a lot of like serious. I don't know. It's done respectfully. Like if you're in that mood, it's hard for me to get there. I don't know.
Which is understandable, and I think that's what makes it so memorable. Is it's one of those movies you see it once and it will always be in your head, kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen it. I've had it on DVD for like 20 years, but every time I'm watching it, I'm like, no.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. For me, I have to be in a certain mood, and most of the time, I am not in a mood to see that sort of thing. I did watch it. I remember I was working in my dad's office, and I just had it playing in the background, but you could follow what was going on. And I remember I was like, man, that's freaking awful. So depressing.
Yeah.
And I just remember it was in black and white, and that really struck me. It's like, what? That's different.
Well, that's probably what he was going for, you know?
Yeah,
I
know.
Yeah.
I actually saw it for the first time a couple years ago when they were playing it at the theater as like a anniversary screening, and it was the first time I'd seen the whole movie, and just 90% of the time, it was an emotional experience for me. Like, I could not stop crying. I'm going to be honest. It constantly brought me to tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hard subject matter.
It is.
Sure.
When I was younger,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying when I was younger, I liked checking out more serious stuff, just expanding my, I don't know, perspective or whatever. But as I got older, I'm like, I've seen enough of that really sad stuff to feel like I don't need to go there. I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, life does suck. You kind of want something more fun.
I feel the same way though. Yeah. I used to, it used to not bother me as much. I mean, I was bothered, but as far as having to be in a certain mood, I wasn't always like that, but now I'm definitely like that more. I'm going through my DVDs and I'm getting rid of things that I've seen once and don't ever want to see again, like United Flight 93. I saw it once in the theater, bought the DVD, have never watched it on DVD, and I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see World Trade Center again. Yeah. And I don't want those emotions stirred up again. And early on, at the time it was happening, I was devouring everything about it. But now it's like I just don't want to. I just don't want to go there right now.
Sad.
Yeah.
The subject reminds me of if you guys heard of Ken Burns, the Master documentary guy. The Vietnam War recently. Like, I love Ken Burns. I've watched a lot of his documentaries, and I started watching the Vietnam War, and I was just like, it was so brutal. It was just like, I knew it was brutal, but like, I couldn't take it. I watched like 2 episodes, and it's like, I get it. This was a huge mistake. I don't need any more details.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really well made though. Yeah, Ken Burns is really good. Trent Reznor did the score too, which was really cool.
Oh, did he? Interesting. I did not know that. Wow.
Have y'all heard about like the story behind like while they were filming Schindler's List? And how like every time that they would like wrap for the day, Spielberg would actually get Robin Williams on call. Like, he would call him up, and everyone would supposedly have gathered around the phone, and just hearing him talk and hearing him like crack jokes was able to get everyone involved in the film out of the headspace of the super.
You know that.
Is that that's a true story?
That actually strikes a bell with me. I think I read something about Robin Williams cheering people up.
Yeah.
And had something to do with the movie. I bet that's what it was. It was just something I read in passing. But when you started saying that, it kind of sparked a memory. Yeah, well, that was a good idea.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, doing something like that, I would feel very emotional.
Right. I mean, it's the same guy who also put Christopher Reeve in comfort when he was going for a surgery, and he masqueraded as like a Eastern European doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, you like colonoscopy, yes?
Yeah.
You have colonoscopy.
Wow.
Robin Williams is awesome.
He's so busy trying to make everybody else happy.
I feel like you got to watch Mrs. Doubtfire. It's just because Robin Williams, it's like his best one. I think it's one of his most Robin Williams' role. Like, I don't know, where he just goes over the top with the comedy, but he's also lovable. I don't know.
It's also he also shows a sad, dramatic side too. I remember in the very beginning when she told him she wanted a divorce. You know, that scene just killed my heart. It was so sad. Just the look on his face and just. Ugh.
I shouldn't say though it's his most Robin Williams, because from what I know, like his stand up, I didn't watch a lot. He was crazy. Like he was crazy. Like he wasn't as family friendly, whereas his movies were a lot more like. I know him from his movies. Were more family friendly kind of comedy. But also, I was gonna just say, talking about Robin Williams, like that of all the celebrities to die, that one hit me the hardest because he was kind of like ever since I can remember, he was been around. One of those
Same.
celebrities. Like
Yeah.
I was talking about Hook, Mrs. Doubtfire. Like from when I was like a little kid all the way through my life, he was kind of like there, and like a big celebrity. And like I considered him one of the top, you know, and he's so lovable. So when all the celebrities who have died, that was the one, and especially that it was a suicide.
I know.
That one still, like, I still remember feeling sad about that. He was one of a kind. He was really cool.
I remember him from way back, like Mork and Mindy days.
Yeah,
that's my memory. That's the first time I remember knowing who he was.
First show.
Yep. And I always had the sense, kind of like how I do with Jim Carrey, that I always had the sense that he was very troubled, and he was trying so hard to make everybody else laugh. And Jim Carrey reminds me of that. And I know Jim Carrey has said that he deals with depression, and so it just feels like when I heard that about Robin Williams, it was very shocking and sad, but at the same time, I wasn't overly surprised, to be honest. It was it's awful.
I think it's a common denominator with all comedians, because I mean, when you think about ultimately what they do is spend their whole time trying to get strangers validation,
right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
But it seemed like it was his death that sparked that realization in so many people, where it's like, you know, and again, not to lump all comedians together and stereotype them, but like how some of the funniest people on the earth might also be some that are
saddest.
Hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would agree Robin was like suicidal or that troubled through his life. From what I read, it was like he had a serious illness was part of the reason that he did that. So I'm sure he was. I think a lot of comedians, they're sensitive, so then maybe not all that can more likely make him troubled. You know, so just more sensitive means more funny, but also more likely to be affected by sadness. So
yeah,
I don't know if I think Robin was like a depressed person, but he probably definitely had his ups and downs more than most. But I just don't associate his suicide with I only associate it with the illness that he had. I don't know if he would if he wasn't so sick. But that's
hard to say.
Not to say I really know. Yeah, not to say I know. But that's in my mind what I think of.
Yeah. Boy, this feels very depressing.
Oh my gosh, we've taken
we need
a
to get
really
Robin Williams on the phone.
Robin Williams.
It's like, where are you? We need you.
I mean, it basically came with, because Schindler's List is a depressing movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We got to talk about too. John Candy. I don't know if this. I was going to mention Cool Runnings came out.
Yeah, I wrote that down as well. Yeah, Cool Runnings. And I also did write down Falling Down. That is on my list of films to kind of bring up, even though it didn't make the top 10.
I was going to mention number 5 was The Firm.
Tom Cruise legal thriller based on a book by John Grisham.
Never saw it. Still don't want to see.
You know what? I only saw it once. I don't remember if I read the book. I've read a lot of John Grisham's books, but I only saw The Firm once, and that was recently, like maybe 3 years ago. When I say recently, because it came out 30 years ago. But no, almost 30 years ago. Sorry, I'm still stuck in 1991 and Terminator 2.
We're past that.
No, we're not. We'll never be past it.
Let her be.
It's Colin. Is there
Terminator Addict?
Yes, for sure. Are you just not a Tom Cruise fan, or you're not interested in that?
No, I like Tom Cruise. I mean, I like him in action movies.
Okay.
After finding out how he's kind of crazy behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Like as a kid, I was like, "Oh, that guy's cool."
Yeah.
Like, Mission Impossible and stuff. But
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you got to try to separate the celebrity with the actor, or the person with the performer, because if you care all the time, like half of them are probably not people.
Half of them are, yeah.
You know?
Some
they're human,
of them I can do that, and with some of them I can't.
Like,
it all depends.
It's really bad.
I've already accepted the fact that they're human. They're gonna have their flaws, just like everybody else.
Right.
Dazed
but
and Confused. That was Matthew McConaughey film, which I've never seen.
I've never heard of this movie.
Never seen Dazed and Confused.
I think that was his first Matthew McConaughey's film, and I don't even know that he was like the main.
He was like a supporting role.
A supporting role.
Although there wasn't really, it's kind of an ensemble. Have you seen Dazed and Confused? Do you remember?
I have never seen it. I've never been interested to see it.
I feel like it's kind of a classic, maybe a cult classic, but yeah, that was a big deal for us as teenagers.
It's definitely a cult classic, but it's interesting too how it's more like, it's not so much like a narrative as much as it is like a slice of life kind of movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just you see them going about their day kind of thing.
Well, it's like 20 characters, or a dozen characters, little groups of 2 and 3, and it's just teenagers on like the night of school getting out, summer starting. Ben Affleck's in it. I think Ben Affleck's one of his earliest movies.
Wow, he must have been a baby then. My goodness.
And he played like this high school senior bully.
Jeez.
But like,
Okay.
it was, as an adult, I don't know, but as a teenager, I remember me and my friends were like, this is what it's going to be like. Like, it was so cool, and it's kind of different in that, like you said, it's not really a narrative. It's like a slice of life, just people hanging out, which is, a lot more unique back then, especially in movies.
It can still be a unique concept. I feel like a lot of movies, especially nowadays, that there has to be a formula that you follow, and there has to be some sort of beginning, middle, and end. Like if you deviate from it, oh no, it's going to be box office. And when in reality,
so it's not your typical sort of plot-based type of narrative. It's just this is a day in their life sort of thing.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
Number 6 was Indecent Proposal.
I never saw that movie.
Me neither.
I was never interested to see that movie.
Me neither.
But
It's just a romance, it looks like.
It's a twisted romance.
Oh, a twisted. Okay.
No, it's I think it's Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore go to Vegas, and there they meet a rich business guy or something like that.
Robert
but he
Redford.
offers them $1 million to sleep with Demi Moore.
Yeah, for one night with the guy's wife.
Yeah.
And I think I know the basic plot. I was just never interested to see it. So she does spend the night with him, and then that causes issues in their marriage. Well, obviously, I mean, that's understandable, but I don't remember how it ended up. Like, I don't remember what the ending was because I never watched it. I just read about it.
And it made number 6 at the box office.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention too. I'm sorry, I'm maybe interrupting. We're talking about number 6, Indecent Proposal. Look, I'm going to interrupt real quick because on the kids thing, I was Colin's weekly check-in with the kids box office. Like, we're like, man, this year has almost not Aladdin, and as a kids movie, Mrs. Doubtfire is a family movie, and that's it. I mean, Jurassic Park was PG-13. Like.
Like
not many of these are sort of are really geared for kids.
It's all like there's some death that happened in that movie, and then spoiler alert for those that haven't seen it, but a specific character's hand is shown too, like cut off.
Yeah, that freaked me out when I'd never seen that in a movie before.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
In Jurassic Park?
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot that scene. Whose hand was cut off? Well, we don't. You
Samuel
don't
Jackson. Samuel Jackson's hand.
Oh gosh, I forgot he was in there.
It's still artificial looking now, but man, it really scared me.
Well, yeah, like I was thinking, because the girl.
Haven't you seen Star Wars?
Right.
Well,
I hadn't.
Yeah, it was probably bloodier though. It was bloodier in Jurassic Park.
Like because she was looking for. She was either going to the place where his character was going to, I guess, do something with the power.
Yeah,
she feels a hand, and she's like, she thinks that's him, and she pulls it, and it's just the remnants of his arm. Yeah, and I'm thinking, ooh, okay, this is the dinosaurs aren't messing around.
No, they're serious.
They're really taking it seriously. They're hungry. Number 7 was Cliffhanger,
Another Sylvester Stallone film.
which I haven't seen. It
Didn't
was
that
either
have,
between that and the other one.
Didn't have who? What's that?
I'm trying to remember her name. She was in Northern Exposure.
Yes, that girl, Janine.
Something.
Yeah, I have a sort of a negative association with that movie. I was telling Arturo the other day that the very first time I saw that movie was on my first year wedding anniversary.
Oh yeah,
that was the night I came down with food poisoning from Outback Steakhouse. So I always associate food poisoning with Cliffhanger.
For me, that was the first movie that I started noticing the sets. Because there's some scenes in it that just look so fake.
Really?
You
Yeah.
could tell it was a sound stage rather than on location.
See, it's been a little while since I've seen that film, so I would need to rewatch it. I just remember one of the main things I remember, obviously, is that opening shot. Well,
what's it? Okay,
a little bit like the opening scene. You know what happens at the beginning.
Refresh my
fall?
mind again.
Yeah, the fall.
What is it? Wait, let me see. It's about something about a heist. Okay, of a U.S. Treasury plane.
John Lithgow, I think, plays the villain in there. And I can't remember all the details, but he forces Sylvester Stallone to take him somewhere up the mountain or so. I don't recall all the details of that. But I mean, it was enjoyable.
I'm thinking of this comment is an interesting comparison. So I think for me, there's a difference, which is Dazed and Confused is the ensemble cast is a big part of it. All the different types of characters, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with there's less characters. What hits me about the Hollywood, which I love, the Tarantino movie, is it's kind of more like that place and time. As much more than the characters, almost like I really felt like you're in that place and time, and all the radio and all this like stuff going on. I like that. So that's an interesting comparison. I think it's more about place though than characters, in a little bit of way. I don't know. It doesn't have that.
I do like when movies do that, where they kind of go back in time. They kind of put you in that sort of event. It's interesting.
I really like that. Yeah.
So number 8 is Sleepless in Seattle.
Another
grown-up movie I haven't seen.
It's a romantic comedy, and I remember. So, how many of you have seen it at all?
Not me.
I've seen it, but I can't differentiate it in my head between that and You've Got Mail.
Right, because it's the same type of sort of scenario, exactly.
It's got Tom Hanks. It's got Tom Hanks
and Meg Ryan, and I was always bothered by that movie because the premise is she's engaged to be married to this guy. He's a decent guy, but she hears this other guy on the radio, Tom Hanks. He's a widower, and she falls in love with him on the radio just because of whatever it was he was saying. And she becomes obsessed with him. She travels across the country to meet him, basically just leaving her, like just tossing her fiance to the side because I guess her life wasn't exciting enough, and we're supposed to root for her to get together with Tom Hanks. Yeah. And I was like, I had a problem with that. There was nothing wrong with her boyfriend, with her fiance guy. What?
And yet it made number 8 at the box office.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was really popular.
I feel like there are a lot of movies that are like that, are unironically, but I've always wanted to see a movie that does that concept ironically, where you want to root, like, pretty much the idea of the bad guy in the movie, it really is the one that makes more sense and is actually the smarter one. Like, why is this person bad again? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to see someone do that in like an ironic kind of sense.
Yeah.
If that makes
Yeah, it's kind of like with Guy Ritchie's films. Like most of it are kind of set in that sort of like mafia gangster world, and he's able to take a character from that and turn him into someone that you actually root for. You know, like
right.
like The Gentleman. You know, you root for Matthew McConaughey's character, or in Snatch, you root for the two that got mixed with. Well, I mean, they were in the mob, but they.
The thing about that is that they're all bad. They're all bad guys. They're all bad guys. They're just different levels of bad in there. So the ones that are the least bad are the ones you root for.
Yeah.
That makes any sense.
Or like in Black Man, you know, like he was a mob leader, but
yeah, he was.
He actually wasn't as bad as maybe some other mob leaders, you know, because he gives.
Yes. Thank you, Justin. Sorry, I'm jumping. I'm getting some agreement here about.
But,
yeah, it was just about Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah. So, Mike, what were you gonna say?
Sorry, Mike.
I like the kind that you're mentioning, Arturo. Like I've seen, there are plenty of those where it's it's genuine, it's unironic, but like in the sense of like those are like anti-heroes. The person you root for is an anti-hero. Yeah. But what you were talking about, Sin, was the like with Sleepless in Seattle, where it's like it's supposed to be a romantic comedy. You're supposed to root for the love interest, but in this case, the love interest is actually someone that's doing a lot of like morally questionable things to a point where you're like, I'm sorry, why should I care, or why should I want this person to succeed? And I've seen and there's some movies where
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There's some movies. What were you saying, Mike?
But there are some movies that accidentally take that concept and then add like a quote unquote bad guy in it, and it's like, wait, the bad guy in this movie is actually very like smart in terms of why are they like they're not doing anything bad, like
okay. I was gonna say that reminded me kind of, I don't think it's what you're really saying, but I just saw this movie called I Care a Lot on Netflix.
I've heard about that film.
Peter Dinklage. I watched it because of Peter Dinklage and Rosamund Pike, and I didn't like it because I only watched it because Peter Dinklage is so good in it. But like, Rosamund Pike's the main character, and I found her to be really unlikable. Like what she was doing was like, I kept thinking like, how is this the protagonist? Like, do they really want me to? Are they expecting me to root for her? Because I kept wanting her to fail. Kind of reminded me of like what you're saying, only except that I wasn't really rooting for her. I felt like they were telling me to, even though she wasn't like an anti-hero. She was just almost like a straight up.
She was straight up villain, from what I understand.
Yeah, she was like a villain, but she was the protagonist, and so it just reminded me about what you're saying. I don't think it was quite the same, but it's different.
It's kind of along there. I'm just always thinking about like a feel-good movie that's like kind of accidentally like it falls on its face because it uses that it accidentally adds that element to it. Or it's like, I'm sorry, the love interest, the main character, I don't want them to succeed.
Yeah. Like when you can't identify with the person that's supposed to be the one, like the good guy that you're supposed to align with, and yet at the same time you see such flaws in what they're doing that you understand more the bad guy than.
I feel like you kind of have to use that.
I get it.
You kind of have to use that in something else that would fit better than like with this movie. With Gentleman or Snatch or The Wrath of Man, put it in something that's, I guess you could say there's a lot on the line, and you have these anti-heroes that are mixed in with it.
Right.
I think it makes it better, for a better story, I think.
That's what I love about Game of Thrones, because I felt like with a few exceptions, they were all like, anti-heroes in a way. They all had reasons you could not like them. Almost all of them. And I remember in the show, I don't know if it's a spoiler scene if you guys are fans or whatever, but there's a scene in the show where this roguish mercenary type character, Bronn, is he's aiming a crossbow at the Dragon Queen, and she's attacking, and it's like, oh, one of them's gonna kill the other one, and you're supposed to want the Dragon Queen. She's like the main character, but I was like, man, I hope Bronn kills her because I don't want Bronn to die. And
yeah.
I won't see what happens, but that's why I like Game of Thrones, because they would throw these characters at each other, and it was almost like up to you who you liked more, because they were both had pros and cons.
Well, they all were flawed, and they had different levels of flaw to them. And at the same time, some of the worst characters, like Cersei, I hated Cersei. She was absolutely rotten to the core. And yet at the same time, you could see some of her, a little, some twinges of humanity in her because she had such love for her children.
Yeah, it was.
You could understand the pain she was feeling when things would happen to her kids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I wanted her gone. I try to pretend Game of Thrones doesn't exist now because of how awful that last season. Oh my gosh.
It's so sad.
I get so mad thinking about it. It really pisses me off.
Me too. That's like my favorite thing ever.
She's turning into She-Hulk right now.
My brother got me the first 3 seasons on DVD, and now I feel like I don't even want to watch them again. I feel like sending them back to him.
Yeah.
But I think he's as pissed about it as I am. So, my gosh, what a waste!
Started on those 2 guys.
What a waste! They just proved to us they couldn't write worth crap unless they had the original material that they could directly draw from.
They tarnished their own name for me.
Yeah, they did. I was so disappointed.
But boy, we went into the future now.
Let's not talk about Game of Thrones right now.
We got to go back to 93.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of its success was due to the in Seattle part, given it was 1993.
What I don't know the connection.
That have to do what?
The popularity of Seattle was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh,
grunge, just because grunge.
Or you know what? It might have honestly been Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. Meg Ryan was, kind of like a darling back in the day. She was in these different, lighthearted type comedy sort of things. And Tom Hanks was also growing in popularity.
Yeah. I don't know about the overlap between. Just based on grunge alone, like I don't think grunge fans cared about romantic comedies. I doubt there was a lot of overlap with that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think everyone was interested in Seattle right then.
Frasier.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Because you have to remember just how big grunge was.
Well, one thing I did like about sorry, go ahead.
Frasier as well.
Yep.
Oh, does that take place in Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There was a lot going on in Seattle in the early 90s.
Okay, I did.
Don't forget the WTO protests of '99.
WTO protests.
It was like a lot of people point to like it was like a riot that happened in Seattle in '99 because like the World Trade Organization or something.
Okay.
And it made a lot of people riot in there for some reason. I don't necessarily know what the details are exactly, but. Yeah.
I must have completely forgotten about that. I'd have to refresh my memory. I don't remember. I've never been personally fascinated by Seattle because it looks like a really depressing place. It's so gray and rainy and dreary.
Like
so
London.
I've never been. Yeah, I bet some of the scenery in the film, like the place where, and I don't know if this was filmed in Seattle where they would film the place where Tom Hanks's character lived, but his house was cool. He lived on a houseboat, I think.
Oh,
that was pretty cool. That's what I just remember it being on the water or something, and it was kind of neat.
Now, number 9
mentioned Sandlot. He did. I saw the comment, The Sandlot, and I was like, "Yeah, we definitely got to bring that up at some point."
Yeah, someone brought that up the last time we had the stream to try to talk about different shows to check out. And it's funny because last week Arturo went to the orthodontist, and they were playing The Sandlot on the TV in the lobby. I was like, "Oh, that's so funny."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We still haven't seen it yet.
Really? Neither.
No, haven't watched it yet.
Oh wow, Glenn. That's crazy.
Oh, I just fully read what he said. Oh wow.
Nirvana's. Oh.
That's
which
cool.
speaking of him, they did kind of use the music in Black.
It wasn't
Black
kind of.
Widow.
They straight up
I mean,
did. Someone else did
but someone's
in Black Widow, which I actually think I like that version better.
I saw Glenn on Frankenstein's Lab comments. Thought that was kind of cool. I watched. That's pretty much the only other reactor I watch as much as this as you saying is.
Oh really?
Is
What's
Frankenstein's Lab? It's two guys, and I pretty much watch them because all they watch is comedy, and that's mostly what I like to watch.
Okay, I don't think I've heard of different reaction, because the reactors kind of sort of get to know each other, because as you do your stuff, you start seeing their stuff recommended.
Yeah,
but I don't think I've ever heard of them. So
I think they've given
two black guys.
Subscribers, yeah, two black guys. They get a lot of subscribers. They always seem stoned, and they always watch comedy.
I remember. Did you see when Bert Kreischer invited them on the show?
Yeah, they got to meet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's so funny.
It's fun because Glenn mentioned he was getting into Carl Pilkington, and I was like, I'm getting into Carl Pilkington, and I was like, it's because Frankenstein's Lab just showed a Carl Pilkington clip. I bet that's why we both are. But yeah, they introduced me to some funny stuff I've never seen. They're good.
I'll have to check them out.
I'm sorry. I feel like I keep also derailing the 93 time.
No, we're all doing it. Don't worry. We all do it. It happens every time. I don't think we can ever.
Yeah, we jump back and forth in the timeline.
Okay. Bad Lieutenant, but the sequel with Nicolas Cage is awesome.
I don't think was Bad Lieutenant from back in '92. Wait. Is the Nick Cage one a remake?
It's a sequel, I believe. Port of Call, New Orleans. I don't know.
Okay.
So I don't know. But the sequel is awesome. It's really dark and it's really cool. It's maybe my favorite Nick Cage movie.
Okay.
It's up there with The Rock.
You haven't seen Mandy.
Oh gosh, I've seen Mandy.
That movie.
I was not impressed with that film. I don't know why. I wasn't crazy about it. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it, and I'd heard such great things, and I had Shudder, and I watched it, and I'm like, I don't know.
It was definitely a movie to watch on the big screen.
Really? You think that would have made a difference? Did they even have it on the big screen? Did they even bring it to the big screen?
They did. It was the Halloween of that year, like right around when it was released, and then like one or two theaters in the area also had shown it in their theaters as well. So
I thought it just went straight to Shudder. Okay. I thought it just went straight to Shudder.
I think it was a mix of both, kind of like what Disney is doing right now with films. Right.
Yeah, the streaming and the big screen.
So number 9 was Philadelphia with
Tom Hanks. Another Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, but it's also got Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like a crime.
Are you on the box office?
No, it's not a crime. It's not a crime. It's like a legal drama about this. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I know what it's about. Tom Hanks plays someone who has AIDS, and Denzel Washington is his lawyer, and he's suing. What's he suing? The place where he was working? Did he get fired or something? What? I don't remember. I just remember it has something to do with him, a lawsuit with him, and I thought his employer.
So it's a court movie.
I didn't realize
like a legal drama.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All I know is that it had to deal with the topic of HIV/AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's both. I'm sorry.
Synopsis says when a man with HIV is fired by his law firm because of his condition, he hires a homophobic small-time lawyer as the only willing advocate for a wrongful dismissal suit.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that part was the little bit of a twist in there. I just knew it was something about him suing his employer, and Denzel Washington was his lawyer. That was all I knew.
Oh.
But was Tom Hanks' character gay?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he was. Yeah, I believe he was.
Okay. Because I remember sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, you mentioned now, like he was his workplace was dealing with homophobic remarks, and how I know, like especially during the early AIDS of when like the AIDS became recognized, is that it was mostly attributed to like drug users and gay men.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then gradually
it used to be called GRID, gay-related immune deficiency.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I don't remember that, but
wasn't it like 80s and 90s? That was kind of like the big like issue going on, like with the whole AIDS thing.
It first became public knowledge in the 80s, from what I remember, and I remember there was a huge amount of fear, like you know how people can be, and I remember that there was this show that I think her name was Linda Evans, was in this show, and gosh, I can't remember the name of the show. It was, oh crap. It's one of those, rich shows, kind of like Dallas, except it wasn't Dallas. But
Dynasty.
Damn, Dynasty. Yeah, that came to me right as you said it. And she had a scene in there with Rock Hudson. This was before he died, obviously. And in the scene, they have this kiss. And then he dies. And after he died, it was, his life, his secrets and everything came out, and how he had been gay and he died of AIDS. And then people started to know more about AIDS. And then I remember on one of those stupid rags, like in the supermarket, a picture of that kissing scene between them. And everybody was all freaked out and worried she was going to get it and die, and like things like Ryan White, that poor kid that got it. And he like went to the pool and everybody's freaking out because he was wanting to get in the pool. There was just so much hysteria about it because a lot of people just didn't know how easy it could be transmitted and what were the means of transmission. And so there was a lot of mistreatment of people.
The stigmatization.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about, I thought like previous year, wasn't there this show where where they put those people, there wasn't it a Latino guy that had it? Mm-hmm. Was he a Latino?
Yes, I remember. That's the only thing I remember about that show, because I remember just being very drawn into the story, wanting to find out what was going to happen to him. And it's just like, I'm watching this guy that's got this death sentence, basically, because at the time it was a death sentence hanging over him. And then was it Joe that said he died the next year? Somebody said he died the following year or something, a guy. So anyway, when I think of that, I also think of what happened to the guy who played the Predator and what happened to Arthur Ashe. I think they both contracted it because they'd had a blood transfusion, because they'd been in an accident or something like that. And they contracted AIDS and they both died from it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's really sad. But that was.
We're going into depressing.
I know we're going into depressing, but
this is a really depressing stream so far. We've covered suicide, the Holocaust.
Oh no!
AIDS, Seattle.
Sorry, but that's just where my mind goes. When I think of AIDS, I think of the people in the public sphere that I'm aware of that have passed away from it.
Right.
Freddie Mercury also, but anyway, all right.
Let's played Johnny from Airplane.
Who was that? Who was the guy? Because I've only seen Airplane once.
And Leon's getting larger.
Yeah, that guy. I can't remember the actor's name, but like it was that guy where it's like, what can you make of this? This paper could be a hat or a brooch or a pterodactyl.
I would recognize his face if I looked him up.
He's like a balder kind of guy. He worked in like the control tower. I
only have a vague memory of that stupid movie. I hate that movie.
I only saw bits of it on television.
Yeah, it's one of those dumb comedies that I don't like, but I remember it. But
right, okay.
I remember.
Surely you can't be serious.
Uh-oh, Mom.
No, it's from
enemy.
No, it's a quote from the movie.
No, usually when that happens, you got to go in the corner.
I know.
Oh no.
It doesn't like some of those things. Okay, hold on. Go ahead.
Number 10. How do you pronounce this?
The Pelican Brief.
Pelican
Pelican
Brief.
Brief. That was another Denzel Washington movie. Two Denzel Washington movies that made it
Tom
in
Hanks
the
and two Denzel.
He's a rock in it. What's that about?
That's another. You know what?
Supreme.
The Pelican
after
Brief
an assassination.
also I think these are two John Grisham legal thrillers that made it in the top 10. Yeah.
After an assassin named Kamel kills 2 Supreme Court justices.
The book was good.
Watson.
I like the book.
Starring Julia Roberts, Denzel Washington, and Sam Shepard.
Okay, wait, Sam Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on a second. Who is he again? Is he
He's one of those actors you know his face, but
wait, is he the one that used to be involved with Jessica Lange? I think that's him.
I think he might have been.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he passed away a few years ago, in 2017. I forgot he was in that movie. I've only seen it once, but I thought the book was really good.
But yeah, that's all the numbered like high grossing films of '93, top 10 grossing films. Now
but there were so many other.
There was many more. Now I was kind of debating if I wanted to really watch this movie, but I decided not to. The Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yes.
It's so it's so awesome.
I know, that's why I think because Artur is such a fan of Mario.
I mean, I was
if you want to watch,
I want to watch this.
Bad it was.
It's part of local history.
Yeah,
right.
I was watching this recent. I was watching this recent video about like behind the scenes, and it was pretty like not like it wasn't even great behind the scenes. They got these 2 directors. It was a husband and a wife, but they only directed like commercial stuff. They never like did movies.
Yeah,
it was just weird. All the stuff that went on behind the scenes, and the place they were filming, like during the summer, was so hot. So when you see the actors, like you could tell that they're sweating. It's because where they were filming, they were sweating for real because it was hot.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you were watching it the other day. Some sort of behind the scenes
was apparently not cooperating well on set.
Who was? What?
Who was not?
Dennis Hopper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the King Koopa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like he ended up doing some improv or something instead of reading the lines.
Oh gosh.
At one point.
Yeah,
but I heard like also occasionally he would come to the set like hungover and stuff. Like,
oh, nice.
I was like on the back of my mind, I was thinking, yeah, I mean, it's a Super Mario Brothers movie. I probably wouldn't. The way it ended up, I probably would expect that of him.
It's just it's so funny how much they missed the mark. Like,
yeah,
it's hard to believe. It's really like they had one job and they failed so spectacularly. It's pretty awesome.
That's why Nintendo didn't want to do any more movies after that until recently. Like now they're kind of like, okay, because Sonic the Hedgehog did well, Detective Pikachu did well.
Pikachu, yeah.
So they're like, okay, but I think it's going to be animated from whatever.
Oh, I got to ask you, Arturo, because I'm real excited. This weekend. I'm finally going to borrow Super Mario Odyssey for Switch from my friend. So have you played it? What do you think?
I haven't. To be honest, I haven't played it yet.
Oh,
my sister has played it though.
Oh,
but it
Arturelia.
Really
yeah.
Yeah.
I
am going to play it at some point, but it looks good. It looks really fun.
I hear it's awesome.
Oh yeah, Mom, you should definitely get into it.
No, not interested at all.
Yeah. I just don't think people or directors in the 90s understood the art form of video games.
Probably not. Yeah.
Because they're like in their 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
And video games only really became a thing 10 years prior to that. So
yeah,
it's really taken until now before people get a handle on it.
They definitely do seem to be doing a better job at it now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because they're gamers themselves.
I still remember. I don't know if you guys remember this, but like today's world is so weird to me because in the 90s, like it was okay to like video games, but if you're really into them, you were a nerd.
Like with anime.
Yeah, kind of. And like now everyone is really into video games. And it took my brain a while to adjust to that, where I'm like, I just felt like adults can't own consoles. Like it's not right. Like, and I'm finally like, it's okay. Like we all do.
Saying that adults can't own consoles is like saying adults can't enjoy animation.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I just grew up with that feeling that like I love video games as a kid, but I remember feeling like teenagers and adults, they're like, this, you can't do this all the time when you grow up. Like, and I just remember that hanging over my head my whole life. Like, you know, and now, so that's why I mean, this world today is like, I'm kind of surprised. Like my friend and I joke about like, you know, when we were kids, like if you had like a Game Boy at the table, you know, the adults would be like, get that down. And now everyone has their phone.
Right.
Yeah.
It's become like the art form and the media that's on the same level as like, you know, cinema or books. Like it's become that, you know.
It's super mainstream.
Yeah, exactly. I love that that's the case now.
I'm happy
It's crossed over into someone just mentioned books. It's crossed over big time into the world of reading, because one of the seems to me to be one of the fastest growing genres is lit RPG.
I feel like that kind of started. That started well. Okay, we're going
crazy.
We're going on another binge
off course, but
drifting off. But I would say, like that kind of started in the early 2000s, but it didn't take off until the 2010s. You know, I think Sword Online kind of helped with that a little bit.
Oh yeah,
how popular that got.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Tron was kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Was that a bit? No, that wasn't a video game he went into, was it?
It was.
Yeah, it was like an arcade or something.
Oh, okay.
Was it?
Right.
I thought
it was based on an existing game.
It's been so
but it
long.
was very much like a video game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want to justify the video game discussion, I would argue that the biggest cultural event from 1993 happened from the world of video games, because Doom was released in 1993.
Oh yeah.
That was huge. Yeah, I was too young. I didn't play it, but yeah, you heard about it all the time. People were like, "Have you played Doom? Is the thing?" Like, yeah.
Didn't Wolfenstein come out the year prior? I think, or
Doom kind of like took the ball and ran with what Wolfenstein started. Like, Wolfenstein was playing it, but Doom like popularized or whatever, made it the thing.
First-person shooters.
Kind of like, I don't know, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds or Player whatever, and then Fortnite. You know, like that.
Fortnite.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty and Battlefield.
They're called first-person shooters now, but I remember a time when they were all called Doom clones.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There were those. There were those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Doom was the one that mattered until GoldenEye came out, and then GoldenEye.
So you're talking specifically a first-person shooter type?
Yeah, for shooters.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
GoldenEye was probably the best sort of film adaptation video game.
Oh, for sure.
For a film.
Even if it wasn't
GoldenEye
film, it was still hella fun.
Mm-hmm.
GoldenEye was big because it was the first time they got a first-person shooter to work on console.
Yeah.
Because they found a decent way to control it with a joypad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I never played it, but I heard it's really good.
So one of the films that came out was Bram Stoker's Dracula, but I thought that came out.
No, that was.
We talked about that.
That was 92.
That was 92, huh?
Okay, so there's. I wonder why they're saying 93. Well,
I saw those lists. Some of those lists are mixed up. Like I saw Aladdin.
Are you looking at calendar grosses or in your releases?
I think counter grosses.
Some of the
change it in your releases.
United Kingdom. It might have come out United Kingdom January 29th.
I'll be back.
Of that year.
I'm just looking at 1993 in film on Wikipedia. That's the one that I go to. Do you guys go to a different one?
I've got that and Box Office Mojo, which I just linked in the private chat.
Box Office. Oh, okay.
Well, okay. So wait. Why does it? Okay. Well, I don't know.
Oh, Simon, I just saw your private comment. That's pretty dang cool. Did you get any pictures?
No, but I know loads of people who've worked on it.
Oh wow, that's cool. I keep forgetting we have a private chat that we can talk in. I always forget about that one.
Didn't the last action hero come out this year? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Yes.
And that was like one of his first sort of flops.
What did you think of this?
But okay, so the first time I saw it at home on VHS, and I was like, okay, that's interesting and that's good, but it's not my favorite. But you know what? That movie has grown on me, and that's actually a really good film. I think it was ahead of its time, and I think people just couldn't appreciate it for what it was at the time. But I believe appreciation for it has grown over the years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I should watch it. Yeah.
So would you give it a 9 out of 10?
Yeah.
9.
That was a good one. That is actually listed as one of my top 3, obviously. No, I wouldn't say obviously, because I didn't list Total Recall as one of my top 3s at that time. But yeah, Last Action Hero. I loved there were all these cameos, Robert Patrick shows up. I think at some point Sharon Stone was in there as well. And just these people in the background, these little, if you blink, you miss it sort of thing. And that poster of Sylvester Stallone as Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it was cute. Kind of like the little, because I was telling Arturo last night about the sort of feud-ish thing that existed between Schwarzenegger and Stallone back in the day. There was a moment, there was a span of time where they legitimately did not like each other very much at all, because I think they viewed each other as a threat, because they were both, in that action world. And so what was that? Oh yeah, so they would have these little snarky things that they would bring up about each other in their movies. And so in Demolition Man, they talked about Arnold had been president, and Stallone is just like so disgusting. And then of course they have Stallone showing up as Terminator 2 and Last Action Hero. But that was kind of he wasn't being snarky about it. He was just talking about, he was a great actor or something like that. Or that was a great movie or something. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I love that film. And I had forgotten that, what's his name? Charles Dance was in there.
Oh, wow.
I completely forgot that he was so young.
Wow, yeah.
When I watched it, it's like, wait, is that him? Yeah, it was him.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, a lot of these movies, if these were on Netflix or Hulu, I'd go watch them right now. Like, I don't want to pay to rent them, but like,
I wonder where
those Last Action Hero.
So there's this cool site that I recently discovered called Yidio, Yidio.
I've seen that. Oh, okay, yeah, the streaming.
Yeah,
I've tried that before. Yeah,
that's really cool. I just found out about it.
Good.
You can type in a movie and they'll tell you what platforms you can see it on, and they'll also show you if it's available for free somewhere.
Okay, cool.
Instead of trying to hunt around for it,
yeah,
you'll just know right away. So
I could give you a questionable site where you can do all that for free.
Wow.
Yeah,
in the private chat.
I've known a few of those sites, but the problem is I never download stuff. It's just streaming, so I feel like it's not that illegal. It's the sites that are doing
it is legal.
It is legal.
It's highly illegal.
I don't know if it's legal or not.
You can pop it in the private chat. I'll see what you're talking about.
My problem.
I'm just wondering if it's something I already know about.
If they would start buffering in the middle of it, and then I'd be like, oh man, like some of those sites were like they run 100%. You like it work a few times, and then like the fourth movie you'd watch would get stuck halfway through. And I started like I was like, okay, unless I have to see this movie, I'll just wait because I didn't want to risk it. Yeah. So I don't know if it's like that, but like because I've been down that road a few times, and I'm just more patient now.
In answer to this question, yes, Falling Down was 93, and that was one of the ones that I wrote down on my list of films to bring up. Yeah.
I watched that recently. I don't think it holds up.
You don't think so? I've only seen it once.
I think the best thing about Falling Down was Man on the Edge by Iron Maiden, 1995, based on the movie.
Oh, it was based on the movie?
Yeah, a song by Iron Maiden based on the movie called
that was the best. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I don't remember a whole lot about the film except Michael Douglas's character. Basically, he just snaps one day.
I don't want lunch. I want breakfast. Yeah, well, hey, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, hey, I'm sorry too. Pulls out like a Tech-9 submachine gun.
Yeah, he gets mad. He's mad because the sandwich doesn't look like how it's advertised, right? Or am I misremembering?
No, like he's mad because they stopped serving breakfast. But then eventually, like after he pulls out the gun, like he decides, you know what, I'll just get a burger. And then they pull the burger. He pulls the burger out of the bag and sees it. And he's like, "Yeah, why doesn't it look like up there on the menu?"
Yeah, that's what because it doesn't look as beautiful and nice and fluffy with the buns not as fluffy. The
photography.
Yeah, exactly. You don't
always do that.
When you realize what goes into making them look like that in the pictures, you'd rather eat the other one because
yeah, food.
I've studied enough. Like you can make yourself look really good, like in a photo, but like when it comes to food, you could do all that as well, but it's not as nice looking in reality.
It will never.
The food in photos isn't actually food. Most of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
I found that movie interesting though because up until the moment I saw it, and I saw it for the first time again a couple of years ago. I always thought Michael Douglas was like. I'm worried I'm going to spoil. Should I stop or?
Well, Artur hasn't seen it. I don't know if he's. I know that's right, and I don't know if he's even interested. So
I don't know. Like I wasn't interested at first because I just a guy just snaps and he goes on like kind of a rampage sort of.
Basically.
Yeah, but it's like he's basically going on a rampage, but also at the same time he's trying to get home to his daughter's birthday party, and it's like the whole time he's like, I'm just trying to get home so I can see my daughter for her birthday, kind of thing.
Is it like comedy?
No, there might be some comedic moments like that scene that he was talking about in the restaurant.
Yeah,
that's a little comedic, but overall, it's not really presented as a comedy. No.
Okay.
Plus, it was a film by Joel Schumacher, so.
Oh wow!
Another good reason why.
Completely forgot that he was the director. Doesn't he snap in traffic? Is that what he has his snap moment?
Yeah, like it's in the middle of traffic and he literally just ditches his car.
Like, because he's
right there.
stuck. I think it's LA traffic. And you want to snap in LA traffic. It's so insane.
Oh yeah.
So you completely get why he kind of went over the edge in some parts.
It's kind of interesting that shot or that moment when he snaps, because I feel like that scene reminded me of another scene from an Italian film from 1963 called 8½, and that movie literally starts in the same amount of traffic, and it has this buildup of just get me out of here kind of thing. Like as the viewer, you feel like this tension of I don't want to be in this jam. And I feel like I don't know if this is the case or not, but I feel like Schumacher may or may not have been inspired by that, or I mean, of course, also LA Traffic being notorious for being that, but also it kind of resembles that scene from the Italian film.
Well, it's possible he might have,
but yeah.
But I think anywhere where there's a lot of people and vehicles together, I think everyone can kind of identify with that feeling.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Even if he hadn't seen it, I could understand why two separate directors would come up with something like that to present on film.
But I have heard that. I think I've heard of 8½. I think it's a pretty classic movie or whatever. So maybe
it is considered a classic. Honestly, I've only seen it once. It's more of an art house kind of film.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some beautiful moments in it. There's some beautiful shots, but other than that, that's the only reason why I would watch it is cinematography, and that's pretty much it. It's definitely worth a watch at some point, but it's one of those movies where it's like, just see it at least once, and then from there you can make your yay or nay of it.
Hold on, I'm distracted by this comment. So 91 was Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Not 92. Yeah, because there was a movie that came out called Judgment Night. Oh, okay. I think I remember looking through this and said, oh my goodness, there's some names in here. Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Dennis Leary, Stephen Dorff, Jeremy Piven. Some movie called Judgment Night. A group of friends on the run from a gang of drug dealers after they witness something happening. It's possible I saw it a long time ago, but forgot all about it.
Wasn't that great?
No? Okay.
Oh, really?
So what are everyone's top threes?
Well, we haven't. We haven't finished going through the list just yet.
Well, there's a lot. That's the thing. We can talk about our top threes right now if we want to sort of.
I might have a top three, but
that's right.
I was gonna say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 came out.
But 2 came out. 2. Secret of the Ooze.
I thought it was 3. It says 3.
I think Secret of the Ooze was before.
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Okay, my bad. 3. I guess last year 92 was 2.
Maybe, or maybe it was 91. I don't remember. I know we brought it up.
The third one was the worst one. They go to Japan. It's like barely felt like a Turtles movie to me. I don't know. I love the second one and the first one.
I heard those were good.
I wanted to mention though about 93 because like I don't know if it's just me because I was 8 and I love family movies where like it was the perfect age, but I felt like 93 had a lot of classic family films, whether it's like Mrs. Doubtfire, Sandlot, Cool Runnings, Homeward Bound.
Oh yeah, I noticed that one too.
I love Homeward Bound. That was one of classic family. Such a great animal adventure, live action animal family film.
Right.
Oh,
Sally Field being in it.
Yeah, the cat.
Yeah.
So, Tom and Jerry, the movie came out.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that. I didn't write it down though.
I remember watching some of that. I don't know whether or not I saw it all the way or I was just skimming around. I just remember that movie.
Yeah, the one where they talked.
They talk, and there's actually a bit of a serious moment in the movie, like especially near the end of it. Like there's like some burning house, and they're trapped in it or something. I just remember it was kind of dark a little bit, at least towards the end.
But it ended okay.
Oh yeah, it ended okay. They just went back to fighting each other again.
Yeah, that's right.
There's one movie I want to talk about that it wouldn't be a top 3. I don't know if it's anyone else's top 3, but I feel like it has to be mentioned from 93, which is Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
I've heard of that.
That movie, I was thinking about like, man, what other movie, like the intent of that movie was just be like, make its money back, be a comedy people went and saw. But like, it gets referenced probably every day since it came out. Like it became a cultural thing, like Groundhog Day, like the day that's all goes on and on. Like there wasn't a thing for that. Like that expression didn't exist.
It was a time loop day, yeah.
And even if it's movies, we're like, oh, that movie's like Groundhog Day, or people talk about it in conversation. Like it became like a cultural thing, which is like pretty cool, especially considering it was just trying to be like a movie that made its money back, like that, like any movie. It's just like, I hope people buy it and see it, buy tickets and go see it. But like, I just think it's interesting when a movie kind of has a lasting effect in the culture like that, especially when it didn't mean to.
Kind of unexpected. Yeah, exactly. Now, the song that he kept waking up to, was that Sonny and Cher? I've got you, baby.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. But it's I like time loopy stuff or like repeating day stuff. I like that sort of thing, but I've never been completely enamored with the movie. And I think it's because it just wasn't like action, crime, thriller, adventure, it wasn't like that at all. But I know that a lot of people really, really like it.
I mean, it's a little cheesy, but Bill Murray's awesome. Like he's one of those great actors, I think.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not great actor, but really likable presence. And so, yeah, I think it's got to be mentioned. Groundhog Days, it's a classic.
Yep. I'm going to delete this from the ones we've already talked about. I'm going to delete from the list of I've got this long ass list of these crazy films that I did not like. I'd forgotten they came out. Like Army of Darkness was one. The Crying Game.
That came out that year.
You what?
I forgot it came out that year.
Yeah, I've seen it, but all these zombie movies that kind of run together in my head, so I don't remember the premise of that one.
But I feel like that one stands out because it's set in the Middle Ages. They're set in the medieval times.
Oh, okay.
But it's because Ash gets thrown into a time war.
Okay, yeah, that's one of those. That's right. Yeah.
Whoa, was Army of Darkness 93?
Yeah, that's what it says on the list.
Wait, I thought that was 92. We talked about that in 92.
Let me see.
I remember talking about it.
It was 93.
93.
93.
We talked about it because I remember considering it as the top 3 for 92.
Or unless we talked about it in preparation for 93, because we did get into some 93 movie discussion at towards the end of our 92 stream.
It's a good one. I like Army of Darkness.
I did too.
Well, Sam Raimi directed it. What's that?
I know this is going to be a hypocrisy to say, I know this is going to be sacrilegious to say. Sorry, I forgot what hypocrisy meant. I know this is going to be scandalous for me to say. I kind of like Army of Darkness more than the first Evil Dead.
No, I mean I think that's I can feel that in a way too because it's like more entertaining. It's more fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. Thanks. I'm not the only one.
Pretty good scary movie, but they're totally different tones. So I can totally see Army of Darkness being. I liked it more myself too because I just kind of like the comedy a little more than the horror.
Yeah, I remember it being comedic, and I was surprised that it was comedic because I didn't think it was supposed to be.
Oh, it was supposed to be dark comedy, but yeah.
So another this is actually in a historical film, Gettysburg.
Yeah, I've got Gettysburg down here.
Jeff Daniels, right?
Yeah, Jeff Daniels.
What's that guy's name?
I never saw
Matthew Broderick and
Sam
Denzel
Elliott.
Washington.
Sam
Wait,
Elliott.
Matthew Broderick?
No, I thought he was in the other one with Denzel and the Fort, right?
That was Glory, right?
That's Glory.
Maybe I get Glory and Gettysburg mixed up all the time.
No.
So
Glory came out in 89. Gettysburg came out in 93.
I get those two mixed up so much.
I haven't seen either, but I was going to say it'd be surprised because I know he was in Glory. I was going to say it'd be surprising if he was in another Civil War movie as well.
I don't think he was.
Thomas Howell was in it. Sometimes I get Thomas Howell mixed up with Matthew Broderick too. I don't know why.
Sam Elliott was
really completely look alike.
Or Samuel Pack Elliott. He was
Sam Elliott. Yeah, Sam Elliott. Stephen Lang was in it. Martin Sheen. It was a pretty big cast. Tom Berenger.
They got they actually got what are they? Okay, I'm having a brain fart here. They got people that they got reenactors to play. Come and do the shoot. That's like
a decent movie.
Oh yeah, I thought it was like a pretty accurate film of the battle.
Cool.
I saw it once, but I thought it was well done. It also has this guy that he does like voice acting. He was in the Medal. I don't know if any of you guys have played Medal of Honor, but
Arturo, who are you talking about?
Let's see, Morgan Shepherd. If I'm even saying that right, Shepherd. Yeah.
Oh.
Which Medal of Honor was he in?
He was in the first one, second one, front lines. Like he would brief you on a mission. Yeah, he was in Gettysburg. He was in Helsing, Mom. You remember?
As who?
Ferguson.
I don't remember who Ferguson was.
One of the I guess he was the captain of the Helsing group.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Helsing. Either of the Helsings, it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
And then obviously I saw Demolition Man, which I am gonna say so I was
Demolition.
I was going in thinking, this would probably be pretty kind of gritty because it's in the future, but I thought
it was going to be raw, and just
funny.
yes, it's funny, and we were talking a little bit before we went live about how it seems really relevant to today. I had forgotten how soft society was in
Like,
Demolition
they don't know
Man.
how to like handle.
Everybody's a snowflake in there. You get fined if you say a bad word, and the police will come get you if you say a bad word. I mean, it is so relevant to what's going on today.
They don't know how to handle Wesley Snipes'
Boomstick.
And Stallone still doesn't know how to use the three seashells.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to use the seashells.
It was just, it was just funny.
I mean,
the police.
like-
I was talking about that line where they said something like, "We're not trained for this. We're the police," because they couldn't handle the bad guys.
And
They
can't
they were reading what they had to tell the bad guy. Tell him in a firm voice to put his hands up, or else.
they don't have guns. Like, you can't, like, no more guns. And
Oh my goodness.
there was you can't even do it.
Yeah, right. You can't exchange fluids. You can't exchange bodily fluids.
You can't even kiss. You can't even touch.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going in like thinking it would be something, but no, it was completely different. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's kind of funny.
What was it? The top hit on the radio was the Armor Hot Dogs jingle.
Yeah, some crazy kid song.
Like it sounds like a kid's radio station.
No, but that was an actual jingle for Armor Hot Dogs.
Oh my gosh.
It was like they're like, okay, we'll play something for you must remember this one. This is from your time, right?
Yeah.
And it's
and they're singing it. This
just
stupid little
Stallone just sitting there like, oh god.
I know.
Yeah.
And then like the change that the characters make, like Benjamin Bratt is so straight laced, and he's just like, oh, I can't do that. And then at some point something happens to him. He gets hit on the head or something, and then he becomes like, oh, like he's dressed up like a bandito and everything. And Sylvester Stallone says something like, you get hit on the head and all of a sudden you're Pancho Villa. And Benjamin Bratt's like, who?
Pancho Villa.
Yeah.
Also, apparently Taco Bell is the quintessential example of fine dining.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They brought that up.
Not in the UK.
Not in the UK.
It was Pizza Hut in the UK because Taco Bell didn't operate there yet.
Oh, okay.
The movie. I gotta see this movie. I can't. That's one I.
You
missed.
haven't seen it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I missed that one.
One of the main things I remembered from it was Wesley Snipes in the scene where he's been unfrozen or whatever it was, and he started the warden or whatever saying something to him, like reading off this list of whatever to him, and Wesley Snipes starts repeating what he's saying in Spanish. I just remember it's like, what? I didn't know he could speak Spanish. And then he had that hair because his hair is bleached blonde, like it's like a yellow color. He was crazy in there.
I thought he did pretty good in there, Wesley Snipes. I mean, I always see him as Blade. In my
perfect.
mind,
The perfect
he was pretty good in here.
Also had the best reaction to collateral damage for the purpose of saving a hostage, where there was that scene in the beginning where it's the news report and he's being interviewed. The lady's like, you just destroyed $1 billion mall just to save one little girl. How do you feel about that? And the little girl just turns around, like, F you, lady.
Right. What she said was like something about, because the ransom was only $24,000, but they destroyed this, caused however many millions of dollars in damage.
Nice.
The ransom was only $24,000. She's like, F you, lady.
He goes, girl. But yeah, like the beginning part, I did like. I was mentioning this even before we went live. I kind of would have liked to see more of this gritty 1996 alternate version of Los Angeles, like the whole backstory between all this and that. Like you only get references from it.
Yeah, just a little
that more in the future.
Bit. Yeah.
I mean, I like that. Some of the action scenes with the two actors, that was good.
This kind of reminded me of something. It's a little off topic, but I don't know. I was gonna post it in the comments, but I guess I can only type in private chat. I can't type in the comments.
Oh yeah, I don't think you can, because you're logged in as a guest. What were you wanting to say?
I was just gonna throw something out there because anytime I'm talking about Wesley Snipes and this stuff, it reminds me of this YouTube clip I just posted in the private chat where it's Patrice O'Neal on the Opie and Anthony show, and they animated this little conversation where they're just they're riffing on Wesley Snipes when he went to prison. And they talk about Demolition Man and stuff, but it's just it's so funny. I've watched it a few times. So I guess if you guys, I feel like you're pretend. I know you like Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah.
And I know if anyone else is a Patrice fan, it's a great. It'll make you laugh.
Okay, I'm gonna put this in my to watch list right now while we're talking. So
Patrice always makes me laugh, and yeah, they make fun of Wesley Snipes for like 10 minutes about what it's like for him in prison, and yeah, I always think of that now when we talk about when Wesley Snipes comes up, I just think of that.
I got that saved on a new tab. I gotta check this out after the show.
Rick is touching on what Simon mentioned about Pizza Hut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he mentioned what Simon had said. I didn't see his comment until just now because sometimes the comments go and I miss them. But yeah, he was talking about the two versions of the Taco Bell scene. One for the UK is Pizza Hut.
Well, I don't know this. I don't know your name, man. To the right of me,
Mike.
Okay. Mike.
Yeah.
Do you say you're a Patrice fan too?
I'm not familiar with her.
It's a dude comedian. Yeah, he's got a girl.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
No, it's fine. He makes fun.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a girl too. Because I read it as Patricia when I first saw it mentioned.
He almost got named like Magumba or some Matumba or something, some African thing. It was like between Patrice or Matumba, so he's like, oh, it's Patrice then. What? Like, it's better than Matumba.
Uh-huh.
No, we haven't mentioned Carlito's Way yet. I only recognize the name. I do not remember if I have seen that movie. Has anybody seen it?
Yes, it's amazing.
Really?
It's one of the best gangster films.
Really?
Next to Scorsese stuff.
That's probably why I haven't seen it, because it's a gangster film. But it's also possible I did see it and just completely forgot, because I do recognize the name. I just don't remember anything about it.
That's one I should have seen. I don't know why I had it. Man, yeah, I feel like I should have watched. I was pretty into gangster movies.
What was he a hoot? Like, what was funny? Was he funny or just over the top?
I'm guessing he's being kind of funny.
He's this Weasley Jewish lawyer.
Okay.
And he's just so greasy and yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's actually the
be funny
Hispanic gangsters. So it's not the Italians or
whatever. Oh, it's not like the Italian mafia or whatever. Mm. Okay. I don't know if I've seen that. Honestly, cool. I cannot.
Hispanic Jewish gangsters? What?
Hispanic gangsters with Jewish lawyer.
Oh. It is a movie I've been meaning to see because I've seen it popped up on so many like best of lists when it comes to like genre pieces or like especially the crime genre.
Yeah,
it's really It's more of a love story than anything else. There isn't actually that much gangster stuff going on.
Maybe that's why I avoided it. This is
and that might be why I avoided it too. Gangster and love story.
It's kind of cheesy, but it's definitely worth watching.
Okay.
There's a scene in a pool hall that is unbelievably tense.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right.
I love tense. Tense is the best. Tenseful are the best scenes. Tenseful.
Yes, we have very briefly touched on Tombstone when someone mentioned Huckleberry early on. But I did write Tombstone down on my list of things to mention.
I thought that movie was pretty good. Things. I thought, what's that guy's name? That was
Kurt Russell.
Val Kilmer.
Oh, yeah, Val Kilmer. He was good. Yeah, he was the best part about that movie for me. Val Kilmer.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I liked it, and I feel like it's always brought up as like people's favorite Western or one of people's favorite Westerns.
Yeah.
Johnny Tyler.
I just remember his death scene in there. And when he looked at his feet, what was it? Something about his boots on or off? And
his boots like off. He's like, that's funny.
Ain't that funny or something like that? It was mentioned before about how he was going to die with his boots off or something. I can't remember.
Boots
so that
on.
was his boots on. Okay. And he had them off or something. But Yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen it. I just remember he was really good in there.
Yeah, it had Kurt Russell, him. It had Michael Rooker in there, and then it also had what's the guy's name? He played Kyle from the Terminator.
Mike Bean.
Yeah,
Michael Bean. Yeah.
Did it have Bill Paxton in it, or am I confusing that with something else?
When did it come out?
Tombstone.
What month? Because I must have missed
Christmas Day.
It did have Bill Paxton in it.
Okay.
Christmas Day, 93.
Yes, Christmas Day, exactly. Also, same day as Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, which I also wrote down.
Oh yeah, I need to rewatch that movie.
That was a good movie.
I forgot it had the Joker in it.
So, has anyone seen? Oh my gosh, there's so many films that came out this year that I had forgotten came out this year. Like I forgot that Like Water for Chocolate came out this year. That was a long, long time ago. Only reason I know about that film is because it's a Mexican film.
Have you ever heard
it made waves because I think it got attention, and I watched it and hated it. But I wrote it down anyway, just because I didn't realize it was that long.
Heard of Fatal Instinct?
Oh no,
it was a parody.
Parody film. I read
parody of Basic Instinct, right? Is that
and Fatal Attraction?
Oh, Fatal Attraction, yeah, Fatal Attraction.
I read about that earlier today when I was looking at this list, and all I could think about was surely multiple times there was just some drunk dude or some just party like, let's get a movie at Blockbuster. Like, that's the one with Sharon Stone everyone's talking about. It's gonna Fatal Instinct. That's the one. And they like take it home and they're watching it and they're like, this movie, I didn't know this movie was gonna be like that happened a bunch of times, just where they thought it was Basic Instinct. Because the cover is her legs, and Fatal Instinct doesn't sound like a comedy, and just some drunk dudes just got it, and they started it up, and they were confused, and that makes me happy.
Almost like those movies they used to do where it'd be a ripoff of like a blockbuster that had come out or that is coming out, and it would be the same movie, but they would mix up the
like a letter.
Yep.
Instead of Transmorphers.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They come out like the week later, straight to DVD.
Like those
like the week before, straight to DVD.
Movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I did see In the Name of the Father. I did see it on the list, but I don't think I ever watched it. I couldn't tell you what it's about. Have any of you guys seen that?
It's a courtroom drama about a wrongfully accused member of what's called the Guildford Four, who were basically falsely accused of carrying out IRA terrorist attacks.
Oh, all right.
Extremely good. It's Daniel Day-Lewis, Emma Thompson, and the late great Pete Postlethwaite.
Who's in Lost World as the mercenary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he played in. Oh shoot, I've seen his face.
Usual Suspects.
A lot of stuff.
Usual
Kobayashi.
Suspects, yeah.
You know what else came out this year? Nightmare Before Christmas.
I wrote that down as well.
I'm not really a fan of horror stuff. I mean, I know it's not horror, but horror tone or whatever that tone is, gothic tone, whatever you call it. I'm just not it's too dark, and it's I'm not into ghouls and stuff.
I'm not into that animation style, so that's why I've never been interested to see it, but I've heard it's really good. Oh, and that guy that we were talking about, the fellow who passed away, he was also in Solomon Kane. I think that's yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie. I only saw bits of it when it was on Cartoon Network a long time ago, but never watched it.
Oh my gosh, look at this comment, you guys.
What?
Look at
it. The Three Musketeers is my favorite on that list, although probably Carlito's Way is better. I haven't seen.
I did write down the Three Musketeers.
I've never. Yeah, it's got Keith Sutherland,
Keeper, and Charlie Sheen, and I forget who else.
Chris O'Donnell and Oliver Platt.
Chris O'Donnell. That's right. There was another Musketeers. Oh, it wasn't called the Three Musketeers, but it had the Three Musketeers in it.
D'Artagnan.
Keep getting it confused with this one. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes.
Another good movie. Yeah, good
I
one.
was just going to bring that up.
Dave Chappelle, early role.
Oh, okay. See, I don't think I've ever seen that, but it gets talked about so many times.
I think I actually
People
watched
really like it.
Kind of
It's
like
Mel Brooks, so it's gonna be good.
Oh, it was who? Mel? You said Mel Brooks?
It was directed by Mel Brooks.
Who also did he direct Spaceballs as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did Spaceballs, and then also Young Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
Blazing Saddles and bunch.
Oh,
Blazing
Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I've seen that once. I don't remember anything about it, but a lot of people really seem to like it.
Oh,
We're mad in
RoboCop 3.
RoboCop 3?
3 came out.
Yeah, I didn't even write that down because I don't think that really made many waves, but
I actually found an error in this Wikipedia page.
okay, what's
it
the
claims that the film called Meteor Man came out, starring a black superhero movie in 1993. That can't be right.
I
because
remember
that only happened like a couple of years ago with Black
Oh,
Panther.
right.
I remember Meteor Man. I remember that.
The thing is, there was also
Cosby.
Blade
Mm-hmm.
in
Oh
1998.
yeah, Blade.
Yeah. I don't think I
98.
ever saw the Meteor Man though.
I feel like the VHS for Meteor Man, I feel like it had like every other black actor I'd heard of was on the cover for that Meteor Man. So I still remember, I have vivid memories of like the VHS store and like looking at the covers of movies and stuff. Stuff I never saw, but so I was too young for some of it. But yeah, I remember Meteor Man.
Man, I didn't realize it was that
Is
old.
that a superhero movie?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I think I've seen clips of it and that's it. But
Wait, what power does he have?
I don't know. I guess they'll have to tell you if they've seen it.
I don't remember. I don't know if I even watched it. I just remember wanting to watch it, or like I don't know if I ever did.
Does he have like metal, like a metal armor or something?
Oh my goodness, James
He's wearing like
in
a
it.
purple suit and a cape, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember the cover really well. I looked at it.
He's standing there like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because he gets hit by a meteor and he gets stuff like flight, X-ray vision, laser
Powers.
vision. He turns into Superman basically.
Is it? I kind of always got the feeling that it was more comedic than serious.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, I think that's it too.
Okay. That might be why I was never interested to see it, because it was a comedy superhero thing, and I like the more, like I'm like, give me Blade instead of Meteor.
Yeah.
That's one of the things is what
Blade,
I like.
I like Blade's theme better. Just vampires.
Vampires.
He's also all like with the
that black
suit
suit.
and all
He's so
that.
cool.
He's just so cool.
Yep.
And the
Oh,
sword.
and also another movie that came out this year that I did want to bring up, and I don't know how many of you guys have seen it. It didn't. The only reason it stuck with me is because it came out about a month or so after the fella's son died, and it was Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Oh,
It was about it came out I
Yeah.
think like in early May, and his
I don't
son
think-
had died in like March 31st.
is that the fictional movie when an actor played Bruce Lee?
Well, an actor
Yeah.
did play Bruce Lee because
Okay,
Jason Scott
Bruce
Lee.
Jason Scott Lee, and I remember
I couldn't watch it.
the guy who. So I remember the soundtrack or the score from that was pretty good, and I remember the next year in the 1994 Olympics, the American skater who ended up getting the silver medal. It was a men's figure skating. The guy who ended up getting the silver medal, his routine was the song from this movie was what his routine was based on.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Oh man, I got my Bruce Lee poster. Like, I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. I went through my Bruce Lee phase. I was obsessed. And
why did you not want to
I
see
just
the movie?
couldn't handle watching an actor be Bruce Lee.
Oh, I see.
It felt like, it just felt wrong. Like, I watched all the content of Bruce Lee I can, like behind the scenes. I watched all his movies a bunch. I watched all his interviews. And I just felt like the movie had nothing to offer. Like, I'd learned so much about Bruce Lee, the person, and from reading and watching interviews and watching his movies, that the movie was like nothing new, and I didn't want to watch an actor like act like
I see.
no one can act like him. Like that's the thing. No one can do that. Like he was one of a kind.
I think the main reason that I was interested to see it was because of what happened to his son. And so then I thought it was just so awfully coincidental, not like it was coincidental in a terribly sad way that this movie about him comes out
like
within weeks after his son died.
Yeah.
And so then I watched it because I just kind of wanted to know a little bit more about him, his family and everything. And in answer to the question, no, I did not see that.
I did see that interview.
You did?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Okay.
I love Tarantino and I love Bruce Lee. So I'm like, it's cool.
He kind of got raked over the coals for how he handled the character of Bruce Lee in that scene. I from what I understand.
I almost feel like I'm kind of with the haters a little bit because I feel like, man, Bruce Lee is such an idol and he kind of disrespected him a little bit. But I'm also like mad respect to Tarantino. He can do what he wants. And like he does have a point, like, you know, Bruce Lee, you shouldn't, I'm not into hero worship. Even I have a poster of Bruce Lee. He's one of my all-time favorite people, but that doesn't mean you should overlook like he could be a dick. You know, he was a flawed person. So I'm fine with him doing it. Although, in my opinion, it's like you have to do that because it's like, I don't know. I get it. He can do what he wants, and it's not. But it's almost like sometimes I feel like he forgets how influential he is because there's so many young people that they probably don't know much about Bruce Lee, and that might be the thing they see, and it's like, you know,
that's the impression they have. Wow, what a butt he was! what a big-headed jerk! Yeah.
And I thought the interview too, where he's talking about where Tarantino was talking about, you know, Bruce Lee would kind of like, he wouldn't pull his punches when they're doing like stuntmen. Like American stuntmen were like, man, you're not supposed to actually contact, you know, it's make it fake. And Bruce Lee's like, man, fuck you. And like, you know, kind of hit him. And I was like, Bruce Lee was right, man. I don't want fake looking stuff in my movies. Make it hardcore, make it look cool. Like he needs to bring that Hong Kong tough shit over. So I'm kind of like, I'm not on the side of like soft ass stunt people that are like, don't touch me. You know, Bruce, it's like, make it hardcore. Like, I don't know. It's cool people die making movies. Like if they want to, if they're taking all the risk in their life, it's like so much passion to make that shit cool. I think that's cool.
Jackie Chan's kind of the same way. Like he'll do
that.
Yeah, but I'm assuming Bruce Lee did all his stunts too, or am I
for
wrong?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And Tony Jaa, I think I mentioned it before. I don't know. I remember for sure, but Tony Jaa is the only other human being that I put on par, right alongside, maybe not alongside, but really close to Bruce Lee's level of being just like, I can't believe that a person's doing this on screen. Like Tony Jaa, I think eclipses Jackie Chan and Jet Li and every other martial artist or action star. Tony Jaa doesn't use, at least in his original stuff, he doesn't use CG or wires. It's all just, he does all his own stuff. But yeah,
I don't think I know who this is.
Tony Jaa, you just have to watch the movie. He's a Thai, martial artist, came out in like 04, 03, 05.
What's the movie?
Ong Bak, ONG space BAK.
Oh, I
was he
think
also
I
in The
heard.
Protector?
The Protector is the next movie he made. And those are two of the best action movies I've ever seen.
Okay. All right. All right.
You know, the martial arts actors are interviewed and they're asked which other martial arts actor would you least like to fight? Everyone says Jackie Chan.
Really?
Really? Why?
Because he's hardcore.
Yeah.
Like a very, very hardcore. Like in the Chinese opera school.
Yeah.
So it's like doing handstands for hours on end.
Yeah, his childhood was not.
Yeah.
His childhood was rough. Like, yeah, like what you're saying. They train. Though I can't believe what those kids do. They train, hours and hours as kids. So yeah, they come out really hard. Yeah, Jackie Chan.
Everyone underestimates him because he does all the comedy roles, but people in the know don't fuck with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of his most insane stunts was in the Hong Kong film 1985 called Police Story.
I knew you were going to bring that one up because I saw that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. That one particular stunt he did.
I saw it only once, so you'll have to. But I mean, I remember that I saw it because I used to like a lot of Jackie Chan's movies from before he came over here.
He's flying around on the helicopter.
No, the one I'm talking about, it's like towards the end where he's in like this shopping mall, and he's chasing after someone, and like they're on the bottom floor, he's on the top, and he's like, I'm not gonna get down from here, or I'm not gonna get them from here. And like right in front of him, hanging on the ceiling, is a giant pole with like Christmas lights strapped around it, and he's like, gonna do it. Jumps off the balcony of like the top floor, slides down this pole as he's taking down these lights with him until he lands on like a glass friggin' like kiosk, and you're just seeing all these lights explode in his hand, and he's sliding down, glass goes everywhere. And apparently all of that, I mean, of course, was real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But apparently that was his most dangerous, one of his most dangerous stunts, because like to this day, I think he mentioned that he still cannot, like he still has some loss of feeling in his hands because of all the cuts he got from that.
Oh, wow. I believe it. He has hurt himself so many times, and I keep thinking we're going to hear that he has gotten killed doing some stunt in a movie. It's amazing.
What's crazy? I'll never forget, like, he was supposed to be filming a movie on top of the World Trade Center on 9/11.
Oh,
what? God, yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's right.
And all I could think of is like the South Park movie when Canada declares war. They're like, Canada has declared war, and Mr. Garrison's like, all the Baldwins are dead. Like, that would have been me if Jackie Chan died on 9/11. They would be like, we are under attack from terrorists. I'd be like, Jackie Chan is dead. Like, I wouldn't have cared about the terrorists at all. That would have been like the day Jackie Chan died. So,
wow,
I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah, I heard the guy that created Family Guy, but also he does the voice of Peter Griffin. He was supposed to get on one of those planes.
Yeah, he narrowly missed it too. Yeah, we almost lost two great entertainers that day. So we got off lucky. We got off lucky. I was thinking of Norm Macdonald, just 9/11.
I mean, you know, like thank God for them. Like it was
that way, and he just looked at the guy.
Yeah.
And then so inappropriate, but it was so funny. I don't know. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I like Jackie Chan. I'm pretty sure he like for his age now, I'm gonna assume he hurts everywhere.
Oh goodness, he probably got arthritis in every joint in his body.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, he's still cranking. I mean,
yeah, he is.
Still with it. Now, are we wanting to move on to the TV shows for 93?
There was a lot of TV shows that came out in 93. Do we want to talk about our top 3 films now?
Yeah, we can. We could go ahead and do that.
We can go ahead with that too, yeah.
All right, Simon, you've been hankering to do that. We'll start with you.
Well, they've actually already all been mentioned.
Okay,
Army of Darkness, Carlito's Way, and True Romance.
Okay.
What's the last one?
I'll give True Romance.
True Romance.
I'll give honorable mentions, though, to 6 Degrees of Separation and Ghost in the Machine.
The anime came out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, okay. That's a good one.
Anime?
Wait.
And also Alive.
Oh, that's right.
That was the one about the
plane crash in the Andes,
right? Yeah. Arturo, I believe Richard Ian Cox played in that. The voice of Inuyasha.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he played in that
The one where their plane crashes somewhere. Yeah.
I remember reading about that in elementary school, and then of course several years later they came out with the movie. Oh, it's terrible. Okay,
yeah, I was briefly obsessed with that movie because it's one hell of a question.
Right.
Would you eat your friends to survive?
I know.
And
you can understand, right? Like you can understand, and yet they were so tormented by what they did.
But they died though, didn't their friends like die? So
they had died. Yeah. It's not like they killed them to eat them. They just.
I mean, I'd probably eat them. I wouldn't kill them.
Yeah.
They're dead anyway.
But they still felt so much guilt. They felt very, very conflicted about
I would-
what
You
they
know,
had
I
done.
would
Of
be kind
course.
of off too about that because think about it. You just
Yeah.
ate your friend, and you
I know.
it feels like they're in you in some way because you just
I
you
know.
You'd have to shit your friend.
ate. Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to avoid thinking of that, but I guess you're right. I mean, you do have
I would eat
to.
all you guys. I mean,
Oh.
I wouldn't want to, but I would.
But you would do it for survival.
I mean,
People do a lot of
Although
things
I'd
to
have to be
survive.
like next to starvation. I'd probably be.
Well,
I'd
they
rather, like,
were.
see if grass and pine cones wouldn't.
Well,
like I would eat next to anything else.
They
Before
were in a place where they couldn't.
But
They
yeah.
were. It was like a.
Let's
Because
say
in the Andes,
Yeah.
in the middle of winter, there was
Yeah.
nothing alive.
they could eat shoe leather. I don't know. You know,
There was not. There were
depends
not.
on the situation.
It was like ice and snow all around them.
Then I'd eat you guys. Although freezing to death probably wouldn't be that bad. It'd be like, I've had a good
Just
run.
go to sleep.
Yeah.
So
I see
okay,
that.
so that was Simon's top 3. Mike, what were yours?
I didn't necessarily come up with a top 3, but the 3 that I'm thinking about right now that I love the most from '93. My first one, I'm going to go first to third. My first one I would say is Schindler's List. Just the emotion that movie was able to pull for me.
Super
And,
powerful.
oh God, yeah. Like it pulls the emotion, shows it to you unforgivingly. The second one is Falling Down. I just love, I thought that movie was great. Like so much about it I loved. Just the whole thing of, guy just suddenly has it, one day just snaps, but then there's layers upon layers as the movie progresses. The third one I would say would be the Joy Luck Club.
I had written that one down.
Okay.
The only thing I remember from that, Mike, is that awful scene with what the woman did to her child.
Yeah.
And I don't think I watched the whole thing. I had just come in, I think my parents were watching it or something. And so I saw that scene and immediately hated the movie and did not want to watch it and did not like that character. I thought it was so awful. It was so sad. But that's all I remember about that.
But that's interesting that you mentioned that, because I honestly, for me, the one that really sticks out the most is the one lady who's talking about how she had to flee China when it was the Civil War, when the communists took over and everyone had to leave, to survive. And then kind of like comparing that to her, what was it? Was it her daughter or granddaughter's upbringing when, compared to her upbringing in America? Like she didn't have to, But it's been a while since I've seen it, but I do remember like being enamored by it and just, I thought it was a very beautiful portrait of, multi-generational immigrant families, especially coming from, China.
Did you read the book?
I did not read the book. No. I should though.
Based on a book.
I didn't know it was based on a book.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wasn't the author? Oh, okay. Because was the author Amy Tan? Or
wait, did you come from China?
No.
Amy Tan is.
I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
Oh, he was referring to the characters, the multi-generational characters. Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, like even if you're not of Chinese descent, and I feel the same way with movies like Moonstruck. I feel it's pretty much the same. It's the same thing, but more lighthearted.
You don't have to be the same ethnicity to relate. I was just confused for a second because I'm like,
oh, no, it's all good.
I thought that'd be cool if you could relate. Like, I'm like, oh, damn, are you from China?
Yes, you did. Why it resonated with you so much?
A lot of people have been assuming lately that I'm from Russia, but I'm not Russian.
Because you're obsessed with. I did wonder if you had Russian in your background, because you really love like the culture and you're all about it and everything. So
look who's late to the party.
Derek.
Derek.
Sorry, I'm playing like third string here, guys, and it's not starting. I just saw Black Widow, so I was late. Sorry.
Oh, you just saw Black Widow. Oh my gosh, I still want to talk about that movie.
We'll get there eventually.
So this is the stage we're at right now, Derek. We're talking about our three. We talked about a ton of 93 movies, and there were so many more on the list. We were going to move to TV shows, but we're rattling off our top three. And
for 1993, right?
Yeah, for 1993. Mike just named his, and I was going to ask if Colin could name his.
Yeah, I will. And also, I want to do a quick. I just saw a comment. I feel like I want to try to respond to comments too sometimes because everyone can, I like when I was in the comment, but because you were talking about Once Upon a Time in Mexico, where it's like I actually thought it was cool how he changed the ending to Catherine of what happened to Catherine.
Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate. Yeah, I was thinking Catherine Tate, the comedian, but no, Sharon Tate. Yeah, I just thought that was cool because it just was like it made it a happy ending, and I feel like that he was just kind of like, I want to do whatever I want, and instead of it being a sad, brutal ending, it's just gonna be happy because wouldn't that be cool? And so I don't know what other people think about it. Just for myself, I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool. Because the whole time that movie, I was kind of dreading, like, oh.
Same. I felt exactly the same, Colin. I was dreading that part. And so when that happened, I was so happy.
I was like, dude, this is awesome. And
this was wish fulfillment.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a feeling like it wasn't going to go as what it seemed it was going to be.
Because Quentin Tarantino has done that in other films.
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards. And that should have entered my brain. But I remember that's what I walked away from in that film. In fact, I did a review of it for my channel. And I started off by mentioning that there was just like, I think I said 2 words in the very beginning, wish fulfillment, because that's what it felt like.
I mean, they could have ended the war. The war earlier if Hitler just attended a theater in France.
Oh, yeah, you're still talking about Inglourious Bastards.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Wish fulfillment.
And they were constantly trying to assassinate Hitler, though. They just they failed.
It's crazy that he even survived everything. Like
he thought God was on his side.
42 attempts on that guy.
Because they could never kill him.
Also thought he was God himself.
Right? Crazy. I know, it's
like,
amazing.
It's was it meant to be that
and then
way?
It ended up being he was the one that took himself out.
Or what?
Crazy.
Right.
Anyways,
okay, so
I'll do top 3. And I'm not really like locked into, I have to feel like the one movie is Jurassic Park. That movie is like probably all-time top 10. Like that would be a movie if like I had to send a random movie to someone, like I said, from the future or the past who had never seen a movie. Like to me, it's like a perfect movie. I love it. And so Jurassic Park's locked in. And then I couldn't really. There was a few where I'm like Fugitive could be number 3. Sandlot, probably Sandlot's number 3. But it's kind of, there's a few. Then, but for number 2, I wanted to mention someone that's no one mentioned. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but Cannibal the Musical.
Yes.
Oh.
All right. Trey Parker, Matt Stone, before they did South Park, I think they were like college students at the time or just graduated college, and they did Cannibal the Musical. It's a live action comedy, and it's just really funny and ridiculous. It's Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
I didn't even find this on the list.
I scrolled through like a bunch of them. I was about to give up. I was like at 150 on IMDb. It's like, I think I've seen enough. And then it was like after that. But
it's a Trauma film. It's released by Trauma.
I forgot that. I just know Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They star in it, or at least one of them. At least Trey does. Maybe both of them, I think. And they wrote it and directed it. And it's just that kind of. It's their brand of like juvenile, shocking humor in a live action comedy, and it's really good.
Never. That's interesting.
But the wrinkle.
Yeah. So
you learn something every day.
Yep. Cannibal the Musical. If you like South Park, check that out.
In answer to this question, I don't think I remember.
I remember. It's a good movie.
Costner and Eastwood. Was this 93 as well? Or is this just?
Yeah.
Really? What was the premise?
They're kind of on. Costner's like a fugitive with a kid, and Eastwood's like a U.S. Marshal or something. The guy chasing him, and Eastwood's kind of a supporting role in that movie. He's not.
Okay, it's Kevin Costner. Okay, I looked at the poster. I remember the poster.
Wait,
now.
wasn't there an Eastwood movie?
Saw it.
Another Eastwood movie where it had to do with FBI or something like that.
In the Line of Fire.
That was another one that we watched a while back, but we were having internet problems,
issues with it. Yeah, that was one of the ones I pulled up that I thought maybe you would like to watch. I think you would like that film.
That's why we keep physical media, guys.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
I say this as I'm purging a lot of my DVD collection.
Oh, you're gonna regret it one day. I'm telling you.
I just want to keep the ones that I really like.
I mean, I heard that they want to scrap physical copies, which I just don't. I don't see how that's gonna work.
Well, it's funny because you pay the same price or more, sometimes even more, to get not have the physical copy, which is mind-boggling to me. I guess I'm just an old-fashioned '90s guy who own everything and whatever, CDs and DVDs and VHS, whatever. But it's just it's funny to me when people are like, "No one buys DVDs anymore," and you're like, "Oh,
I still do."
Okay,
yeah,
I all do. I think we all do.
Have you seen? Sorry, Mike. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
No. Go ahead. Sorry,
I was just going to mention, have you seen, Derek, people talking in the, those voodoo groups or the digital movie groups, and they're talking about, I could have sworn I had this movie and now it's gone from my list. And people are like, yeah, you're basically only just renting it long term. They can remove it if they have to, they lose a license or whatever.
You basically have a long-term rental agreement indefinitely. And if they go, tits up, then you're SOL. But chances of that happening are probably not. I realistically wouldn't worry about it, but I'm just saying that is something that could happen. And a lot of people had those.
Your entire collection too,
right? And they had those InstaWatch things. If you remember when that happened, when InstaWatch where all those guys were selling all their InstaWatch copies, trying to make more money, and everyone bought them real cheap. And then Voodoo and Walmart, when they got sold to Fandango, kind of went through the books. And if you owned a movie that was not, they know you hadn't purchased, if you know how the InstaWatch thing worked, it basically got purged from your account, and people were like, "Oh my god, I just lost 500 movies."
Oh god!
And you're like, "Oh man, my DVD collections never ran away from me." Oh man,
I know.
Let me break out the violins. So,
I'm just really glad we have physical media when our internet goes out. Because we've lost internet before, and okay, well, we want to watch something. What do we watch? Oh, I'll pull out a DVD.
Right. So it's that was my little plug when I heard you say that. It's exactly why. And plus, go see In the Line of Fire. It's actually a good movie. John Malkovich is a great villain in that. So
very good.
Definitely checking out some point. But
and plus, Clint Eastwood's the only guy who's 77 and still could snag Renee Russo in her prime. I believe it.
That's right. She was in there. What I keep getting In the Line of Fire mixed up with that movie that he was in, where he sees Gene Hackman is in it. And is he the
Absolute
president?
Power? I
keep getting those two mixed up.
I saw that movie in theaters when I was 10, and it was way over my freaking head, man. I just did not get it really, but I thought it was cool. But I just and then I've watched it as an adult and made sense. And it's actually really good. It's a good thriller.
Yeah, they're both good films.
And Gene Hackman is great. He does villains well. I like him as a villain over a hero. So.
Yeah, I like. It's funny because someone asked me, I think today on my channel, if I like Gene Hackman, and one of the first things I thought of was that Clint Eastwood movie where he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
he was also an enemy of the state.
Yeah. And Lex Luthor. Don't forget the original.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Royal Tenenbaum is one of my favorite performances, my favorite movie characters of any movie. I don't know if anyone's seen
I've never seen that movie.
Wes Anderson movie, very good ensemble, but it's got very kind of his cynical black humor in it, but it's good.
Yeah, I think it's Wes Anderson's best movie. I mean, it's debatable, but I think it's my favorite, and I think it's a great movie. And Gene Hackman is so funny. I mean, it's got a lot of weird comedy in it. It's not I don't know, it's meant to be a comedy, but there's some really funny stuff, but especially from Gene Hackman. He's really funny.
Good actor.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
He will be missed when he's not with us anymore, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They should have cast him in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was good in there.
geriatric park.
As,
No,
as
Gene
John
Hackman.
Hammond? Or no?
As who? As who, Simon?
No, his name is Gene Hackman.
Hackman.
So it'd be perfect for Jurassic Park. From Hacking Genes.
Gene. Oh my
Genes.
gosh,
Oh my God.
Simon, you with the puns.
Dun, dun.
You
He
and
says
Matt
this
would get
stuff and it
along.
goes right
Yeah,
over my head.
yeah,
It takes
like
a little
him
bit.
and Matt Air would get along just fine. They're all
Yes,
about the
they
puns.
would. Oh my goodness. All his puns. So Derek, do you think you could list off your 3 or do you need to think about it a little bit?
Who's not? Am I the only one since I got late here? Who's
No, Arturo and me. We haven't gone yet.
Nah, you guys go. You know what? I'm always I want to create this like signature where I don't always pick like the best 3, but I rifle off 3 forgotten ones or something like that I think are really need a light shine on them, because I mean Jurassic Park, that's one of those historically great films, but I would just I don't know. I feel it's got enough light. So yeah, come back to me. I'm thinking about it. So
okay, you mull it over. Arturo, do you want to go?
You could go first.
Okay, well, mine are real. I mean, doesn't take a lot of. I mean, I knew right away as soon as I saw them on the list what they were going to be. Obviously, for me, number 1 is Last Action Hero, and number 2 was and also 2 and 3 are not in any particular order. These are just my top 3: Jurassic Park, of course, and The Fugitive. Those were my 3 favorites.
Yeah,
those were on my list. Like I think. Okay, it's kind of weird. So Jurassic World probably number 1. Now number 2 and 3 are a bit iffy. Like I was thinking Last Action Hero would be like 3rd and Fugitive 2nd. But then again, they're kind of all both enjoyable, so they could be flipped around.
So basically we have the same top 3.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I like Tombstone.
Yeah.
Man, I'm loving that Last Action Hero's finally getting some love here, man.
Right?
Like that
we
movie.
talked about that.
I saw that in theaters twice as a kid, and I remember again, I was too young. Like, and I think a lot of adults it goes over their head. To be honest, they're not expecting the kind of movie it is. But I remember like it. I just watched it as a straight action movie, and I loved it as a kid. But then as an adult, I'm watching it, and the satire was like so awesome. Like it was just hilarious stuff to me, especially if you know like the Arnold caricature and stuff. Like I was just such a great film, and I think it was just a little too ahead of its time maybe, and it came in at the wrong time when Arnold was still seen as right off the Terminator. He comes in and basically makes a self-satire that winking at the camera the whole time and breaking the fourth wall, and I just think people weren't ready for it, man. And I'm just glad to see it's finally coming around to getting its due, better late than never. But
it also had to compete with Jurassic Park because I think they both came out around the same-ish time. And
they did.
But yeah, I do think people went in. I don't know if it was the marketing or what it was. He talked about that in his book when it just wasn't as well received as he had hoped. And I can't remember I can't remember if his thought was, he wasn't sure exactly what it was, if it was marketing or something. I don't recall. But
there's a lot of that was a big examination. Like you'll read in like a lot of reflection on that movie and why it failed, because they put so much money into that movie. Like, and I think it was the first movie, if I recall, that they did the Sony dynamic digital sound. If you remember that, it was a big to do in the 90s, THX and SDDS, DTS, they had all that stuff. And it was the first film that they did that sound. So they had like really high hopes on this one on top of, paying Arnold his crazy fee that he got for being in anything.
Right.
But James Cameron, I think, was commenting on like how that movie, like actually, that was like he felt like the Arnold was really kind of hurt by how it wasn't received. Like he felt like how they could just prop him up. Like once T2 came out, he was like he's probably the most famous face in the world at that point. You know what I mean? Like just him being on top of the world there. And then all of a sudden, Last Action Hero comes out within like a year, give or take, and people just who cares? So he said like you could tell Arnold felt like he was hurt, like he got thrown away, kind of, and so you feel bad for Arnold because he was a guy who felt like he's like the epitome of when you look for a motivational speaker, you go to that guy, and when you actually know that he can be hurt too. Oh, that's sad.
He did. It did affect him a lot, but then he kind of came back 94 with True Lies.
We're not there yet.
And I know that did well. But it was like it kind of bounced back a little bit after 93 with the True Lies. Okay, Arturo. So you've had your okay, Derek.
So okay, well, let's see. So we got 93 here. One of my favorites, and I can see that someone's got a profile picture already of the boomstick guy. But I love Army of Darkness. And I'm sure. I don't know if you guys talked about that one. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's because you gotta remember at the time that movie. One that didn't get seen, and it wasn't until like the later 90s that people really like seemed to pick up on it. And it's just like it gets its love now. So I'm really happy about that one. Getting its due. Whichever version you see, I like them all. But I remember that was one of those movies that I went to a comic convention and bought a bootleg. I hope that's not a federal crime anymore. But I bought a bootleg VHS of the European cut of that film with the original, with the extent and the original, where he takes the drops ending and stuff, and wakes up in the destroyed future.
Oh, cool.
So,
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Well, don't worry, Derek. Yeah. My friend Matt Ayer, he buys bootlegs of this.
You're outing him, Arturo.
What?
You're outing him.
Well, I was just going to tell him he didn't have to worry about bootlegs because
he gave his whole name and everything. Now the feds are going to go looking for him.
And now, when I was a minor, and I hope the statute of limitations has gone up, but who knows? Maybe it'll be some political vendetta when I run for office one day. Did you or did you not purchase a $20 bootleg? Yeah. So yeah, people take that one for granted. That's kind of funny because it's like that people you don't now you go to buy the DVD and there's it's one of those copies that we always kind of make fun of, like Halloween or any of the Evil Deads or whatever. Oh, they're releasing another version of it. You know what I mean? It's like the 34th release.
Blade Runner, all those versions.
And people keep buying them. Every oh god, okay, we'll buy this. Oh, I'm a sucker. Just take my money type thing. And but yeah, man, we didn't have that European ending. We had the extended cut. We had to go and risk becoming a felon to watch it, So anyway, that's Army of Darkness. And then I was just seeing one movie that I don't think gets enough love is Sniper with Tom Berenger and Billy Zane.
Yeah, I saw that in my list. I didn't write it down. I can't remember if I saw it or not. I think I did, but I don't remember anything about it.
Well, they're on like number 10 right now, but they're just undeniable. That was just a good movie. I thought it was, anyways. And that
would have been a really early, pretty early Billy Zane. No, not too terribly early. Didn't Phantom come out? Not a whole lot longer.
Phantom came out in 95, if my memory serves. Okay. But he had done Dead Calm, if you remember that, with Sam Neill and Nicole Kidman. I believe that was 90 or 91.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
That was a creepy movie.
About that film. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, I like Sniper. I thought it was a cool movie, and I love the scene of the bullet, that long shot of it leaving the barrel and tracking down its target. That was a cool, memorable thing. It was probably technically pretty difficult or somewhat of a challenge to do back then. Nowadays they would have no problem doing that. And they do it all the time. But,
right, yeah. Just easy. Fire up the computer.
Right, basic, yeah. And we need more blood in there. We can just put some more drippy goo. So they got it easy nowadays. But okay, and I'm going to list this one is actually probably, if I had to, this is a favorite. I'm not just pulling out stuff that's forgotten, but Falling Down.
We talked about that.
Did you? Oh, yeah, Defense.
We talked about that at length. Mike really likes that film. That was in his top 3.
Oh, was? Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I missed that. But no, I think that's a great one. I think he's a very... I think that's a movie you get engaged with and you kind of get frustrated at society and the way things have gone. And I mean, it's a very empathetic film. Like you can get involved in it pretty quickly and feel the frustration. You know what I mean?
Right. You get where he's coming from to a great extent throughout much of the movie.
Right. And even when he's like, like with the golf cart guys, I love that scene where he's traipsing through the golf, the golf course. Yeah. So I'm trying to blank on the golf course because I'm thinking the golf cart already. And then when he shoots the golf cart and it goes rolling down, and I loved that scene. And even though he gave the guy a heart attack, I didn't feel bad
the
for the guy. It's like, oh, well, that's what you get. Maybe if you'd bought another, I don't know. I didn't feel bad for him personally, because I'm just kind of like, these are the bourgeois that are just wrong with society, and I guess you're rich, whatever. But I thought there was a lot of cool little social commentary, and not in any direct sense. There were direct issues, but I thought that it was cool in the sense that it was just things that a lot of us just think of offhand and are kind of like, that's kind of stupid, or like the Big Mac scene, or what. It wasn't really McDonald's, but what's, because I know you when you buy things, anyways, it's kind of just like
we talked exactly about that. That was like one of the few things I remembered was the fit he threw about the sandwich, how it didn't look like what it showed up there on the picture board.
I love that. I'm just standing up for my rights as a consumer with like the Mac 10 in his hand or whatever that was. And you're just like, that's bravo, man. We all think we could do that someday, but maybe not to that extent. But we all have our little daydreams, our dark little fantasies. And I think that movie kind of let us vicariously live out a little bit of it. But yeah, I love Falling Down. I think that's just one of those. It's got that iconic poster of him just holding the shotgun, looking like an attorney, or like an accountant or whatever, an engineer type guy.
Right? Does he have a briefcase in one hand and a shotgun in the other? And is he standing on the roof of a car or the hood of a car?
He's on like the remnants of like a house or whatever, the foundation of a house demolished, in those suburbs or whatever, and with the spray painted graffiti where they try to hassle him and start territory homes, and he's like, well, if you wrote it in fucking English, maybe I could read it, which today would get you canceled, but it's still a legitimate observation.
That's funny.
So okay, so that's it. Falling Down, and I like that movie. So I didn't get to see it until I think 2002, and I happened to be on like spring break, and I caught it, and I was like, "Oh, this movie's awesome!" I was just a teenager blossoming into my adulthood, and now it's become a favorite of mine.
Is this quote here from the movie?
Yeah, dying the little stupid. Yeah.
Okay.
And I wear that stupid little hat, and just the nonchalant way he said it, and
he was mad as hell, and he wasn't going to take it anymore.
Exactly.
The whole line with the pills, where it's like, what? You need your pills? Your pills? Oh, they're over there? Just shows like the golf cart going into the lake.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh.
The whole day he's just mad. He's just mad.
Yeah, he's just basically he goes on this rampage.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember. I do, and I can still picture the place. It was called Tom's Mini Mart, but which it was run by Korean people in my neighborhood, and which is not a big deal. But it was just like when he went into that little foreign shop and they wanted 85 cents for a can of soda. I remember that as a kid. Like sometimes it'd be almost $1 for like, it was like such a huge markup to go into a convenience store.
And it still is.
Yeah, it is. But I just remember this. You got to think this is 90s dollars we're talking, man. We're talking $1 to a 5-year-old in 1990, whatever one. That was a huge premium to pay for a Sprite or whatever. And so like when I saw that scene as an adult or teen, late teen, I was like, I remember that. I remember it, and it's like I just thought again, focusing on little things that everyday people might be, kind of pissed off about,
grumble about, but not do anything about.
Generally Hollywood people might be just totally not even aware of. Oh, you guys drink from cans? Oh, well,
Right.
So I give it credit on that. It tried to kind of level with a lot of average people. You know what I mean? Working class people. You don't see that enough in movies anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
So
do we want to touch quickly on TV shows? It's getting on up there, but there were a lot of TV shows that came out in '93.
Well, one obviously is X-Files.
Yes, that was the top one.
Oh,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So long ago.
I love that at one point. I remember at one point I was like late 90s, probably 97 or so. I was trying to, and I almost did, record every single one on VHS because they were putting them in order on TV. So I started at the beginning. And I made it pretty far. I had a lot of those on VHS.
That thing went on forever. I remember watching it when it premiered. I was at my grandma's house.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And it premiered, and I remember watching it, and I was like, this is actually kind of cool. I like this. And
they showed on. Oh,
yeah. No, I didn't watch it all the way through, but I would catch it when I could. And then when we finally got a TV in our house, it was still going. And so I would pretty religiously watch it, and then I kind of lost touch with it again. Actually I did. I watched it all the way through the end, but then I had forgotten a lot of the details. So then years ago, I went back through and rewatched it again, whatever platform it was on at the time. And
I lost interest when Mulder left.
Yeah, it wasn't the same, but Robert Patrick came on, and
I thought he did okay, but that's always really, really hard. Like I have a lot of empathy for them because the people are like, nope, we're stuck with Mulder with David Duchovny, and then it doesn't matter who you put in there.
Good, but I think I tried to just appreciate it for the standalone stuff that it showed when he was on there, and I can't remember the girl that came on there as well, Annabella.
Yeah, they had a new woman,
Sciorio, whatever.
Yeah, that girl. Yeah, but then you know what? I think I've watched maybe only 1 or 2 episodes of the new one when they got back together. Has anybody seen all of those?
Oh yeah. I've had a couple episodes, but I never finished it, to be honest. And it's not because I thought it was bad. I got distracted. I don't know what happened, but
I just felt like the magic wasn't there.
Yeah.
So it felt a little like,
maybe because it's been there, done that. And it went on for what, 11 seasons?
It did, and then it had been so long, and then I don't know, it just didn't feel like an X-Files.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I don't think I was really excited for it. I just lost enthusiasm at that point. But for a while, until Mulder left, like during the first 5 seasons and the first movie, it was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was really good. I loved all that off the wall wacky stuff they were showing. It was so cool.
I loved the episodes where it was like they would each tell the story, like Rashomon style, where they each had their version of what happened. Those were good. Also, if you guys remember, I think it was called Home, the one with like the creepy incest people in the farmhouse.
Oh yeah, that was
that was the worst to me. That one scared me so bad. They had their
that was disturbing.
That one's really scary.
That show was scary to me, like, because I remember when it came out as a kid. Because remember they used to air it, like, if my memory serves, they used to air it late on Saturday nights on Fox.
Saturday or Sunday nights or Friday?
I thought it was Saturday, because I remember on sleepovers sometimes when as a kid I'd have like a sleep, or we'd try to stay up late and watch it, and it was scary. Like it scared me. Like, because remember aliens were a big thing back then. Like, and the one. Scary. Yeah. The one that scared the crap out of me and stuck with me all those years. I forget the name of the episode, to be honest, but where they were in that forest and, like, what was it, Siberia border or whatever, where the things would engulf people, like cocoon them in the darkness. It was called Darkness Falls, I believe.
Yeah.
But that one scared the crap out of me, man. Like, I remember being afraid of that. Like, I would sleep with my nightlight for I remember the couple days afterwards, I would have my nightlight on all the time because I was afraid of that one. And dude, that just, so I always have this reverie for the X-Files as being like this creepy early 90s alien thing, man. And I love that show, man. It's great.
Oh yeah, it was really good.
Fire in the Sky.
That universe, I don't know.
Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky.
Also starring Robert Patrick.
That was I have that written down in my list. I've only seen it once. It was replaying on my TV, but I saw it once and I completely forgotten Robert Patrick was in it, you guys.
That movie has a great cast on top of Robert Patrick, but it's great. And what's creepy about that movie, again, another one that scared the holy crap out of me as a kid, just that poster, like I've got it burned in my head of the light coming down in the forest. And like, what scared me was how clinical, like during when DB Sweeney is up there, and having his flashbacks or his trauma of remembering all how they treated him, like just he's screaming and having a horrible and they're just like totally callous, emotionless, just doctors working, you know what I mean? And that kind of detachment was like really scary to me. It's like they weren't just horrible, evil. They were probably like us, when we operate on animals and just pigs or what, you know what I mean? Like,
if District 9, I was old. I was like 20 or whatever when I saw District 9, 25. And that freaked me out. The detachment, like you're talking about, that's so, like if you said District 9, I guess I don't want to spoil stuff, but there's a scene where like the scientists are kind of studying this dude, like with this like clinical detachment, like of like they didn't pay attention to his humanity at all or whatever, the living thing and stuff. And that stuff is like Oh, it sticks. Yeah, it bothers me.
It sticks with you. It hits home better because then it's like, because it's almost something that you can realistically picture. Like, I don't know. Sometimes you will come across doctors in real life who are just kind of burned out and they're just kind of like, oh yeah, You know what I mean? Like, it's like no feeling there, nothing. They've just basically built up a wall around it, and you were seeing that. Like, imagine, we always say being a human, being a guinea pig, which we, usually when we're talking about like a physical guinea pig, like in our world, you're supposed to draw like it's this whatever, it's a little guinea pig. But then when you say a human was treated as a guinea pig, we kind of have that freak out, and that's what I saw there, was just like switch the roles around, and it's scary as hell, and so they did a good job in Fire in the Sky.
Supposed to be based on a true story.
Yeah, Travis Walton. Yeah. He and I say it's all bullshit, but it's funner. I think it's funner to believe it's real, but whatever. I want to believe. So
I want to believe.
Do you all believe we're being visited by aliens?
I don't know.
I know.
I don't.
My friend Matt Air, he will say 100% there's no alien. Like,
no way. Because nothing can go faster than light. It's ridiculous. Like, look how fast light goes. Like, you can't go fast. There's probably life outside the solar system, but it's never, like, it could never get to our solar system, and we'll never get to there. Just because I don't think it's realistic for organic material to go faster than light. Like, it's pure fantasy. It's not sci-fi in my mind.
I mean, I
have no idea.
Sand or Arturelia, you need to get a piece of paper and a pencil and explain to Colin how wormholes work.
I don't necessarily. Yeah, right. See, this is a piece of paper.
I'm always like, I'm in the middle. Like, I can't say yay or nay because there's been so many like reports of people around the world that have seen something.
I think 100% of those are people that believe that they saw something, but they didn't. That's what I learned about, because like I went through mental illness, and that's what it taught me, is that myself, I believed crazy stuff. And that it really made me understand how, those people that believe that crazy stuff, they're not kidding around. They're not like, but really, I don't believe it. Like, they believe that stuff. They're just wrong. So I think
some of these people are people that say, I was always a skeptic. I never believed. And then I saw this thing, and, so then they do. Like I don't know.
I think there's UFOs, but they're made by China or billionaires or Russia.
Our government.
Like, that's why I'm always like in the middle. Like, I can't really say yay or nay about it, because the universe is big. Who's to say there's another race out there that has?
And there's probably tons of intelligent life throughout the universe, but I think it's crazy to think that it can travel faster than light.
That would make sense. That no organic material can travel fast as the speed of light, but at the same time, the sheer vastness of our universe, there's
certainly a bunch of life out there.
Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know enough about all of that stuff to draw any. I don't know. So I'm not even.
Hey, I took astronomy when I was in college, and they told us something about, if I remember, served the Drake equation that determined there were like millions of similarly inhabited worlds like ours, and it was pretty much the most anti-religion class I ever took, even compared to like philosophy or anti-religion. But I don't know. I believe that there's real alien life out there. I think it's naive to think that we're just so special here, guys. We're the only one, and
it's naive. It's narcissistic.
Yeah.
You were like,
very much.
It was more anti-religious than my anti-religion class.
I think it'll just be.
Who was it with the quote? There are two possibilities. One is that we're alone in the universe. The other is that we're not. Both are equally terrifying.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah, but
I think there's no way there's not other life, but I just don't think it can go easily transverse the space. Like, if you guys, there's on YouTube like the size of the universe, how big is the universe or whatever. I watched one of those recently, and it's like, we don't know it's mind-blowingly big, but this video breaks down how big it is, where it like goes on and on, like you're this small.
Your mind can't even wrap itself around
that. Until at the end, they're just like, and so that's the observable universe, and we're pretty sure like the actual universe is way bigger than that, and you're just like, dude.
Right, mind blown.
Yeah.
In the version of that I saw, when it gets to the observable universe, It has Jesus standing beside it going, don't masturbate.
Yeah.
You'll go blind and you'll never find heaven. So
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, X-Files didn't just focus on the alien parts; they focused on other things like
Monsters. Yeah.
monsters,
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one about the Jersey Devil.
Jersey
Oh.
Devil.
Yeah, yeah.
That was scary. Yeah, that was a real.
The one about that guy that could fit himself into these.
No. Oh, I forgot about that, and you just
like the ductwork and everything. He was creepy.
I think I did see that episode.
I miss being scared by TV shows. It's like,
Like I was watching bits of that, but then Netflix took it off, so I never really like.
Yeah, I don't know where it's available now, and I don't have it.
Faster than light travel.
Hulu. It's on Hulu.
What, X-Files?
X-Files? Okay.
Yeah.
X-Files?
Yeah, X-Files.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's also on this crazy thing called DVD.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe we should.
All right, Derek.
I have them, so I'm sorry. I had to plug that.
Oh, dude, my dad owns
everything.
The whole series of X-Files on DVD. I forgot.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
My dad's like a Blockbuster at this point, but only for like sci-fi and fantasy type stuff.
Man.
Open a rental store.
Yeah, but then no one would come. They just say they like rental stores, and then you'd post it, and then they just go, "Oh, well, can I stream that?"
Right.
Yeah, right. It's the convenience of streaming. I
like the feel of X-Files. Like it just, would you say, kind of had like a little bit of a noirish feel to it, sort of, well, kind of like early '90s quality, but it's just the feel of it, the theme of it, mysterious. Them trying to figure out some of the.
I don't know. I think you would probably like it. It does. Sometimes it feels like it gets a little off the rails with the stuff about Mulder and the things that happened at the end, especially like when he came back, and it was like
I didn't really care for the personal stories. Like the best episodes were the standalone
stuff.
Yeah,
I like that stuff too. Yeah. I did.
Well, I like a lot of it. They're like they left it. Like, even though you saw what you saw, a lot of times it left it open with skepticism. You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty cool too. But I think, and again, it just that show just still creeps me out. Even though I've seen scarier stuff, and I know it's like one of those children things where it's stuck with me over the boogeyman. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's just hung with me, and I still get like I think of like late Saturday nights trying to stay up and watch that show, try to stay awake. You know, being like 7 or 8, 9, and. There was that one. I remember one episode that bothered me was. Remember, it stood out. This. And again, I don't know the names. So I mean, I've watched them a million times. This guy kept trying to kill himself, or what? It's this like spirit was tormenting him and stuff. And every time he would try to like kill himself, he couldn't. And
I don't remember.
Yeah, like he put the gun to his head, and like of course it wouldn't fire. And he killed his like son, buried him in like a sandbox, and. That one always stood out with me, and I saw that one a bunch of times as a kid, and I can't think of the name of it, and it's gonna drive me crazy. So I wish I could Google on my computer right now, but I can't. So
when Jack Black was in an early war.
Yeah, Jack Black was in it.
I forgot he was in that, but there were other people like I think Carol Burnett's daughter played in an episode, and also
Luke Wilson.
Who?
Luke Wilson, yeah, I remember Luke Wilson.
I forgot about him, and also the girl that played in the first Conjuring. She played blind. She played a blind person who could see visions.
Oh, and the girl that played in The Walking Dead.
There were a lot of girls in The Walking Dead. Which one?
Did you mean women?
The girl, the one that lost her sister in the first season.
Laurie Holden.
Was that
Maggie?
Not Maggie.
Andrea?
She was the maybe that
Beth?
was her, like the one that ended up meeting up with what's
the older one from season 1?
Yeah, the older one.
Andrea.
Daryl Carol.
He's saying Andrea?
Carol, right? Carol?
There were 2 sisters, but doesn't she end up
the blonde Andrea who
there was a blonde.
She was the one that ended up shooting her sister in the head because she was a zombie by that point. Like she stayed up all night holding her dead body. Right after she got.
Was that Carol? I can't remember.
I don't think
that was Andrea.
That was
Laurie
Holden.
Okay. Maybe it is. I'm
okay.
I remember the faces. I don't remember the characters.
Okay.
Name. She wanted to kill herself at the end of this first season, and that the older guy was with her. that place was going to blow up. Do you remember?
Oh, the CDC where they had it on the in
Right.
Atlanta or whatever that was, and it was gonna.
I've linked
Yeah, I
IMDb
know,
in the
I know.
chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in X-Files.
Hey, she was in Dumb and Dumber 2. You love that one, right, Sin?
Yeah.
Come on.
I can't wait to
You know
get
better.
94 is going to be good too.
She's traumatized from that
I was
movie. You
not-
just mention it, and she's,
Well,
you just say
I just-
dumb,
it's
and
like-
her eye starts to twitch. It's like,
Just like, you know what? I was going through, like I said, I was going through DVD collections, and I pulled out Dumb and Dumber 2 to sell that
Oh,
thing.
2. Okay, yeah. 2.
Because not even my husband likes that one.
It's bad.
So it's safe to get rid of that one.
I'm surprised you didn't pull a standard American wife one. And whoops, I accidentally lost the first one too. Out in the
No,
garbage.
I didn't. I'm not like
I know,
that.
I know.
But
I
this
mean,
one was actually
anybody-
never even opened. It's still in the shrink wrap, or in the wrap. So.
Has anybody heard? This sounds familiar. I don't know if anybody has heard of this, but Boy Meets World.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
someone...
Savage, or what's his name?
Ben
Where's
Savage, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Did you know, and I read this on the internet, don't ask me where I saw it, but like this girl who like was in the last 3 seasons is now a big adult film star.
Oh, Topeka?
I think her name is Maitland
You know-
something or whatever, but
Is
I
that
mean, I'm
Topeka?
totally going off things I've heard on the line is crazy, but
That rings a bell, but I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, I know it jogs memories of a lot of, but yeah, it's totally crazy how that show, like you can't watch that show like, oh my God, she's a porn star now. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, because I think I had a crush on her too. I think she was kind of cute.
I think I've only heard of that, but I don't know if I've ever watched that.
Corey
show.
Savage went on to direct Always Sunny episodes though, so he
Oh.
did good.
Yeah. Fred's behind the camera a lot now too. I mean, you wouldn't even realize how many
this
shows.
is one with Fred
Fred-
Savage in it. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but
Fred-
I vaguely remember now what you're
He
talking
was in
about.
Princess Bride.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. He looks, when he was that age, my brother looked a lot like him. He reminds
Like
me
Fred
of my
Savage?
brother. Yeah, Timothy like when Timothy was a young kid, their faces are very similar. He reminds me a lot of Timothy.
I love Fred. I grew up with him, man. He was in this movie called The Wizard, which is a video game movie. So you guys
Yes,
should-
the video
seen
game.
that.
Yes, I think I brought that up. Yes, I love The Wizard.
What year was that?
I think it was 1989.
Oh, okay.
90? Oh wow.
Maybe I wonder
Well,
if we
we're
talked
going
about
I
that.
thought it was 90 because I think I did bring it up. I think it might have been 1990.
Well, I believe it was 89, but check it out because I got the Blu-ray. If you like that movie, man, get the or Shout Factory. I think it's under their Shout Factory label, but they just did a deluxe like Blu-ray 2-disc set, and there's like 40 minutes almost
89.
of deleted scenes.
Oh, I couldn't. Not today. I couldn't. I mean, just because like I'm too old now. Like back when I loved it, it was like
Yeah.
the only movie that referenced video games. Because like I was saying back then, it was like a kid thing. Like it wasn't a part of normal mainstream culture. But then I saw like, no, this movie has video games in it, and it was so cool to me. I love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's cool because I was a kid when I saw it too. It was a couple years old at that point, but we all, everyone played Nintendo. We all knew those games. As soon as they put a game on, like, oh, I know that game. And then you got to see like, oh, he's not really playing that game, and you started to even see that as a kid, and but I liked it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That everyone wanted, but no one could afford, and then there's overhyped stuff. But yeah, it's cool because that movie really stuck out with me. Not only the video game thing, but it's like all set along like in Reno and California, which were places I always went on vacations to as a kid. So it's like around that time, it's like I'm going through these places, and it's just like, oh, I've been there. I've been to Reno. I've been to Universal Studios. So it was all like all these places I'd been to. So it's like you had all this attachment to it even more. But sorry, we're going back in time here. I apologize, but I just when you're talking Fred, went from Ben to Fred to Wizard. So
I was gonna.
We can circle back now.
Well, he was in Neverending Story too. Sorry.
Which story?
Neverending Story. Fred Savage.
He was.
Wasn't he?
I don't think so.
I don't think he was in. I think I was too young. So I think I was like 84
Maybe
when
you're
I
thinking
came
about
out.
Princess Bride.
Just look. No, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a show called NYIPD Blue.
No, NYPD. I was actually going to bring that up because I don't know if you guys remember, but when that show came out, it was a big deal because they showed nudity on regular broadcast TV.
Really?
They showed someone's butt, and that made all sorts of waves. I remember.
A butt? They showed a butt?
Yeah, because it was
TV.
not something that was shown on, regular TV.
You had to stay up late on USA to watch
TV.
Silk Stockings.
American TV. Sorry, yes, that's right. Sorry, I forget.
That's weird. I mean, I don't.
There's other markets where they do things differently, but
Europe loves their nudity. So
I don't want to derail so much, but like growing up in the '90s, like I'm kind of like torn. I'm not torn. Like I find it weird in this era now where it's like the woke era and people are so sensitive and triggered, but like so much stuff is allowed on through the media that is just accepted now. Like no one even talks about it. Like that's normal. Where just 20 years ago, that would have been like, are you kidding me? Like the amount of violence and sex and all that stuff that is just like, oh yeah, we all look at that now. Yeah, kids probably see that stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
No, like I'm like, are you serious? And these are the same people that are like, all like, you used the wrong word. Like, you guys are watching the most fucked up shit on the internet all the time. Like, who cares about what words you're using? Like, dude, just the Walking Dead. Like, I was watching that. Like, that shit is way too violent for young people. Like, that. I think there's a lot of fucked up shit that is just totally normal. And yeah, it's totally normal, and people don't even like. They're complaining about words and shit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, we've popularized fucked up shit and visually for young people. Like they're just normalized to all this fucked up shit, and people are arguing about bullshit. It's like, man,
the scale's broke, man.
Yeah, the contrast is really weird.
Yeah, it's like you can't listen to people. Like I can't listen to people. I can't engage in these arguments people are having. It's like it's so much focused on the immediate picture and not the big picture.
Yeah, it's superficial crap is what it's focused on, and it's just like such a waste of energy and time.
Well, I remember The Walking Dead. You talking about how gory it was, like, right, and that's always been my kind of. I'm like writing something on, ranting about this on Facebook like 7 or 8 years ago, whatever. When I was watching, they're like, showing people get like split and torn open and just like really gory stuff, which I mean, it's no biggie to me, but again, it's on free TV. But if you followed horror movies through the 80s, or you even know kind of the tellings of the battles that horror movies, like in particular Friday the 13th series, had to go through with the MPAA getting X ratings on everything, to where they had to keep removing all these gore shots and all this stuff. And then you even see those things uncensored. Like they finally have released the footage, 20, 30 years later, and it's like so tame. And then you see The Walking Dead, where they just like literally, did I just see someone get like torn in half and they're crawling around on the ground, whatever.
Well,
and
then nitpick a little bit, it was cable TV. It wasn't like broadcast TV, but everybody pretty much has cable. So yes, young kids were.
And it's like the #1 show on cable. I mean,
well, but what's funny with the Walking Dead thing is my epiphany on that was interesting, is that on Friday the 13th, part 7, they were showing that on AMC or whatever, and Jason, like this one girl opens the door, they're like, don't leave, and she's like, well, whatever, I'm going back, and she opens the door and Jason's right there, and then he just like smacks her in the face with the axe, right? And you're like, oh, that's good, she had that coming. But they cut away, in AMC, they cut the part out, which is very tame. It was just a little like, like brief. You don't even see blood. And then it cuts to this kind of like obvious cut where he just like Jason then tosses her over like the side of the big old TV. And then the next day you're watching The Walking Dead and they're ripping people to pieces. So it's like
same network too.
Yeah. And you're kind of like, so you guys are still holding on to the censorship of the 80s and 90s, but for new stuff, you give it a pass. So how am I supposed to, I don't know what the solution is there, but you're just kind of, you're observing this kind of contraction. You know what I mean? It's like the scale's broke.
Sure.
They did that with The Exorcist. I heard they cut out. So, like, I only watched the AMC version, and I heard that they cut out a specific scene where she did something to her body, or something like that.
Yeah, with the crucifix part, where but it's interesting that they're still censoring them like it is the 90s, but they're letting their new stuff go unfeathered, and it's kind of amusing how that is.
Yeah.
All right, well. we back to
So-
93.
NYPD.
Just quickly,
Right,
with all
go
this
ahead.
talk of censorship, Sin, you should react to John Dillermand, which is a Danish children's TV show, stop motion, about a man and his huge dick.
Oh,
Is this
just to
gonna
get
be
a
one of those
sense of-
RoboCop spoof things again?
No.
Oh,
It's
no.
totally legit. It's just an example of how different Europe is from America.
Oh, I already
Oh,
knew.
yeah,
I already
they're
knew that they
different.
were. But what's the name of it again, Simon?
I'll write it in chat. John Dillermand.
Okay. All right.
And to Javier in the chat, yeah, I feel like probably
What's-
I'm surprised no one mentioned that because yeah, it's kind of a sad, serious movie, but that was a really good performance from Leonardo.
It was also
yeah,
Johnny Depp, right?
Also
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, yeah, two major stars in it.
Oh, Simon, I see you here doing your little thing again.
what's drinking Gilbert?
Oh man.
Oh, geez.
And don't forget, Crispin Glover was in there.
Oh, I forgot he was in. I've only seen that movie once. We're coming back around to some comments that had popped up while we were talking.
Well,
that I didn't.
Derek was saying something, and I interrupted him. What were you saying, Derek?
About Gilbert Grape? I
You
don't
were
remember,
saying
man.
something.
Sorry, I lost it unless you
I
remember.
was trying to bring us back to 93 television.
Oh, I just was saying NYPD Blue and trying to get us back on course. I apologize.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
where
because we were
that's
talking
where the
about
stream went
movie.
off.
Oh,
And
someone mentioned about Jon Stewart starting in '93 his MTV show. I didn't realize that was when he started.
There's this show. Has anybody?
Philadelphia, yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're talking over each other. Go ahead, Arturo. Floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, it's got Sign Bin. He's the Scottish actor. Has anybody
Who?
heard of? He's a Scottish actor. You know who he is, Mom. He played in Game of Thrones, in the first season.
There were a lot. Sean Bean.
Yeah. Let's see how he's Sharpay. It's a TV series that went on.
Sharp.
That's what-
SHARPE. Is that what
It has
was?
an E in it. It has an E in it. And this show went on from 93 all the way until 2008.
Damn.
That's a long time.
Is that British? It must be British or something.
It's yeah.
Yeah, it's a show. It's set during the Napoleonic Wars. It's based on some.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's from way back when, as far as like when it takes place.
Soldier.
But it didn't go on, from what I remember, continuously. It was like
Oh
there was a
wait,
revisit of it in 2008.
never mind. He's an Irish actor. Yeah, all right. Yeah, he's an Irish actor. Never mind.
Would you call him Scottish? Is that
I
what you
thought?
said?
Yeah, for some reason. I was
that
thinking
did-
He's
right over
English.
He's
He's from Yorkshire.
okay.
not even.
Well,
Does he die in this show?
I know he probably does. He dies in everything practically. Poor Sean Bean.
I don't know. Like, it's got a good ratings on IMDb.
Yeah,
For
Sean,
England, James.
the ultimate guy to die.
No, poor Sean.
And no one saw it coming, though. There was still a surprise.
You talking about in Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
It was. I thought it was. in
If
Game
they
of
read
Thrones.
the books, they would know. Just like
Right.
people, did you guys ever see I think one of the first times I saw reaction that I was watching reaction type things.
Red Wedding.
People were reacting to the Red Wedding,
I
and
remember that,
it was so funny because you could always tell the people that had read the books.
Right.
They're sitting there like
Yeah.
they know what's coming. And
Yeah.
everybody's freaking out around them. It's so funny.
Am I the only one here who's never watched an episode of that show?
You might be.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Then I am proud to wear that crown. Thank you.
I tell you, I wish I had never watched that show now. That's how angry I am about that.
I mean, it was good for the time until you got to the last season, which they didn't know
Well,
what they were
it
doing.
was enough to ruin it for me.
It's about the
personally.
journey, not the destination.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it.
The destination makes the journey I
I'm
don't
still
even
waiting
want to
for the
remember the
book.
journey.
Spoiler alert, you die at the end.
I have a little bit of faith the books will come out at some point for that.
I think he's going to probably die before he's done.
Probably, but miracles could happen.
Isn't he a pretty heavy mouth breather?
He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's big.
No.
I don't
But
know. He looks so unhealthy to me.
I think he's vivacious.
There's something
Blast.
here. Anybody heard of of the Hidden Temple.
No.
Oh wait, Nickelodeon Hidden Temple.
Is that a Nickelodeon show?
Legend of the Hidden Temple on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Legends of the.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was one of those game shows you just wanted to be on so bad. It looked so fun, and it was one of those where, man, it was probably the hardest show they ever had for kids. Like they never made it to probably like 1 out of every 30 episodes. I made 2 or 3 times, maybe like 3 times total did anyone get to the end of that obstacle course. It was impossible. But yeah, that was a really fun Nickelodeon show.
I always wanted to be on Guts.
Guts too, for sure. Guts. Wild and Crazy Kids was the ultimate. The ultimate dream was to be on Wild and Crazy Kids.
Oh yeah. Gosh.
Then there's
someone mentioned in the comments earlier, and I don't know if we scrolled past or whatever, but Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I had written that down as one of the mini shows that came out in '93.
I liked that show a lot when I was a kid because it was a new Star Trek that I got to see new episodes on. And I know apparently a lot of people didn't like it until like Voyager came out and then they loved it again. But I don't know. But I thought it was pretty cool. I had a lot of toys as a kid. I had the Micro Machines, man. And I don't know if anyone else watched it or whatever, but I thought it was cool.
I don't know. I feel like Star Trek, I feel like we're a similar age, but Star Trek almost seemed too adult for me. Like my dad loved it. My mom and dad watched it in the house, and I would try to watch it with them, and I felt like I could never really follow what was going on. There was too much talking. I needed just more. I mean, honestly, even Star Wars felt a little slow to me as a kid. Like I was used to like, I don't know, cartoons, the Turtles, and that were just bam, 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 bam. So. Well,
Deep Space Nine was surely the more adult of them and slower moving, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I clicked with it. I liked watching it, and to be honest, I think a lot of at the time, like I did not get like the genocide and all the war over, you know what I mean, dealing with the fallout of that stuff. Like that all went over my head. I didn't get it. It was just cool to see like,
aliens,
all and plus Worf would sometimes pop up over there, which was cool to me because I liked Worf. But
and I had that dude with like the brown alien with like the weird round head crown, kind of like ugly face. He was like
the bartender guy.
Bartender, yeah. I always think of him with that show.
Yeah. He was funny.
I warmed to it eventually, but I didn't like it at the time because it was just such a tonal shift from all the Star Trek we've ever known, which was an optimistic view of the future, whereas this was just so dour and depressing.
And like tone, like not just tonally in story, but you look at it visually, and it was dark. Like I mean, the way it was just you're at the end of that earth, end of wherever civilization. Yeah, but I think as an adult, you get into it, you can kind of at least I did, anyways. I came around to appreciating it, and it's hard to believe it was '93 because I remember where I was when the last episode aired. So it's kind of
wow,
yeah.
Babylon 5 also came out the same year.
Wait, what did?
Babylon 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh
Beavis
yeah.
Beavis and Butthead.
And Late Night with Conan O'Brien. I mean, there were Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Wait, Bill Nye the Science Guy started that?
Yes. I was really surprised to see all.
I'd like to fact check his science guy status, please.
I know.
Conan O'Brien.
It was a fun show for for young kids for sure. And
Lois
the way they introduced the information. Lois and Clark, yeah.
Yeah, the new Adventures of
Walker,
Superman.
Texas Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Sonic and
Space Ghost
Hedgehog.
Coast to Coast.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Space Ghost was awesome. I remember that too.
Oh, is that the guy with he had like a hood?
It was an animated talk show. He had
yeah.
It was really goofy. And then like the Brack show. I remember the Brack show and Space Ghost, and that was fun.
I liked Lois and Clark a lot as a kid. I remember that was another one I used to watch on like TNT. And see, that was interesting to me is like Dean Cain was the first guy I ever saw as Superman. Like, I mean, I guess I saw Christopher Reeve, but it didn't stick with me as a kid because I was so young when I saw Superman. And I kind of forgot about it. I wasn't too into it when I was really young. But then I would watch Dean Cain as Superman, and I just, to me, that was cool. He always stuck around with me as Superman, and he just looked cool.
Watching the first episode. And I watched several episodes, but I never finished it. I don't
Yeah.
think. Yeah. No,
I don't think I did
listening to
either.
my
Like I don't know where it
grandma's
went, but
house. I don't
Cartoon
either.
Bonkers came out, and Animaniacs came
Yeah,
out.
someone
Yeah.
mentioned that
Oh,
actually
yeah.
in the
Animaniacs.
comments. Someone brought that up.
Animaniacs was
That was good.
great.
Yeah.
And especially as you get older and you learn, I mean, again, that was another one that even as it's a cartoon that was like, I think why it felt off and kind of, I remember as a kid, we watched it, but it wasn't like one of our favorites, but it was like actually really intelligent. Like it was written almost at like an adult level intelligence. Like some of the things they would reference, like when they're talking about like Hollywood, all the jokes about Hollywood and stuff that you just don't get, like pay or play contracts in the theme song. No kid has a freaking clue what that is. And I think most adults don't either, but they sit there and I just thought that was symptomatic of it. It was a pretty smart show. And wasn't Steven Spielberg behind it too?
I thought he brought it back.
Or I know he what was it, Tiny Toons and Animaniac. I know he had some behind the scenes like producing stuff going on with a couple of cartoons back then.
He's into everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg.
Politically Incorrect started in '93 as well.
What was that?
Yeah,
Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher,
Oh.
his show.
he's still going. Yeah.
Wow,
Wait,
I
he
did not
started in
realize it had
93?
been around that. I remember watching it some in the watching it some in the early 2000s, I think. And I did not know it had been on as long as it
When he
had been
defended the
on.
jihadists and got canceled.
In what year was that?
Bill
was that-
Maher?
Yeah, was that
That was
that
shortly after
2000?
9/11 or something. He got into
2001?
trouble. I remember that.
Something happened to him, and I think I had seen some of his stuff a little bit before then. But yeah, wow.
Well,
Did not
Politically
realize.
Incorrect ran from '93 to 2002, so I assume
Yeah.
it was in 2002.
Yeah, he said something. They're the Patriot people were always calling the jihadist people cowards all the time, and he said, "Well, I don't know if that's the right thing to call them as cowards because it takes a lot of courage to fly a plane into a building knowing you're going to die."
Yeah, that's
and then
right.
of course that was just foaming at the mouth, wrong answer to make, and they canceled him.
A
So
lot of brouhaha. I remember that.
he could probably wear that badge pretty proud and say, "Hey, I'm so controversial and I'm so old. I got canceled by Republicans."
Canceled before cancel culture
And now
was a
in
thing.
2021, he's trying to be canceled by the left. So it's like, hey man, how great is that? That's like being like Bill Barr, where you talk and you piss off everyone across the spectrum. You know?
Right. Everybody.
That's a pretty good way to go. You know. But
Just
anyway,
reading from the Wikipedia page, Maher's guest Dinesh D'Souza disputed Bush's label, saying the terrorists were warriors. Maher agreed and replied, "We have been the cowards, lobbing cruise missiles from 2,000 miles away. That's cowardly. Staying in the airplane and it hits the building. Say what you want about it. It's not cowardly."
I remember seeing that clip. I didn't watch it when it happened, but I remember when it made waves.
So I take it Bill Maher is against drone strikes.
I don't know. I guess. I have no idea.
This is off topic, but I was thinking about this the other day where it's like, man, it's such bullshit how we nuked Nagasaki and Hiroshima because they're like, well, American troops would have died. And it's like, yeah, they should have instead of like bombing children and women. Like, imagine if I was a soldier, and I don't want to be, but if they're like, all right, you're going to have to go fight a battle or we can nuke some women and children. It's like, well, I signed up to fight a battle. You know, doesn't that seem cowardly? Like, doesn't that seem like, did our troops sign up for that? Did they all say, yeah, bomb the women and children? We don't want to fight. Like, I'm not on board with that. I think, like, we should have fought it out. You know, you don't bomb women and children. That's my stance. I know
women and children the problem is in warfare, everybody gets killed.
Right.
With or
War
without
is
bombs.
war, basically.
Yeah.
Like, the dropping nuke was fucked up. I'm going to link a chat to a Twitter thread I started in the private chat. It is art from survivors of Hiroshima.
Oh, no.
Mm.
What they remember, it is hard. It will go through.
I can't do it now.
I bet.
I mean,
I should have bombed. I don't know. Like, I always thought it was kind of sad that they picked. And I mean, you read of all the reasons why they picked those cities and stuff. You're just like, I mean, I know they didn't know the full potential, I guess. So they said they wanted to measure the on a virgin target or whatever. I don't know. There's a bunch of shit like that. But I think it would have been more sympathetic. It's like if you were to destroy a military installation or something that you could strategically say that, well, yeah, we were disabling their military so that we could destroy bring down Japan quicker. It would have been more sympathetic, I guess, and more understandable. But I don't know, when they're bombing, because I'm just picturing a city I live in or whatever, and like, oh yeah, we're at war with Japan. They dropped a nuclear bomb on your city to fight your country's military. It wouldn't sit well with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I personally, I don't. It doesn't bug. I don't know. It doesn't pluck my heartstrings if they say like innocent women and children were burned. I don't know. Civilians are civilians. It's how it goes. That's war.
As a non-American, I was absolutely shocked when I heard that. It was taught in American schools that dropping the bomb was justified, that it saved lives. That was so fucked up.
On the Sea of Lies, what?
That it saved lives.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is fucked up.
My accent.
Hadn't they drawn out that there was going to be million? Like they estimated like how long of a invasion process would have been, like on both sides of the battle, how many millions would have? I mean, it would have just been a horrible drawn, and they just decided, we can probably end this pretty quickly and do this. And I guess you could say every installation has the interest of its own people at the best thing. So if we can do something to spare them, that's what they're going to do. I get really torn feelings on this.
It is conflicting. I've also heard it was also China. I think it was China or the Russians or something. And they were also trying to, because I think at that point, the U.S. Or other allies started to, we got in bed with very bad people to fight World War II, for sure.
Yeah.
Because Stalin was an absolutely horrible human being, and he was
Monster.
terrible, killed so many people. But I think the country realized at that time that communism was starting to sweep over, and they basically, part of it was also they didn't want Japan to fall into the hands of that. So that was one of the multiple reasons.
That was one reason for that. But on top of that, the war was dragging on for 6 years by that point, and we did warn them that you should surrender because we have a bomb and we will use it. And we gave them a warning.
Well, what the hell was Japan thinking, kicking the U.S.? You know what I mean? You're kind of like, what did you think would happen to your little country when you did that? It's like, come on.
We should never
war.
None of these.
You should never bomb.
I gotta head out right now. Sorry.
Okay, Mike.
All right, I know. I shouldn't be talking about war.
I know.
We went off in a different area.
Ventured into some really depressing, disturbing territory with this. Like, we started off with depressing stuff. We got mired in depressing stuff in the middle, and now we're ending up on depressing and hot buttons.
Oh, no, sorry.
It's just kind of the way the conversations took us.
The firebombings in response to that comment. Yeah, I know that there was all sorts of shit. Firebombings, we napalmed the fuck out of Tokyo and other European cities, and it killed way more than nukes. Yeah, for sure. It's just, I guess it just hit me the other day where it's like, I don't know, imagine a room full of soldiers, like young men ready to go out fight for their country. And they're like, hold up, guys, you don't got to. We'll just throw some fire at the babies. It just doesn't sit right with me. It's like, if we had not if we didn't have 100,000 young men ready to go out and fight, I don't know, the last ditch effort, but it's like, it's just not manly. It's just not manly. It's just bullshit. Like, I can't get behind that. Like,
yeah.
War
in general,
war is stupid.
War is wrong.
No,
war is wrong.
Frustrating because all these conflicts that happen, and a lot of times politicians are ordering people around to go die.
Right.
And it's like you do kind of almost wish, well, why don't these politicians just get in a gladiator ring and fight it out?
Right. You guys fight it out. We'll go sit over here. Let us know when you're done.
Yeah.
But no, Sashi made a good comment I saw in there that she saying that they lived in Malaysia and that people forget that Japan was a belligerent aggressor during this whole war.
Yeah, they were.
And so it's like when they keep going, oh, but then you hit us back too hard. I'm like, well, go fuck yourself. I don't know. It doesn't resonate with me. And I don't mean to be callous.
It also sounds like a
who
childhood
died.
excuse. He started it.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
It's a conflicting, you know.
I just think you can never justify harming civilians, no matter what. Like no matter what, you can't justify
chemical weapons
that,
on
or
civilians.
you're wrong. But
Yeah,
that's what I
lots
think.
of stuff did happen. Lots of bad stuff.
That stuff. That's why war is just horrible across the board. You know, you never, because no matter who you pick, there's going to be horrible things that happen to people who had nothing at all to do with it, and who maybe they didn't even want to be involved in this. They didn't support these authoritarian people who were starting these wars, but they had no power to do anything otherwise. And I always have empathy, even when, you know, when we were talking about all these bombing Iraq, and we're like, oh, okay, well, you know, these people get killed in drone strikes, and they had nothing. They weren't even the people they were aiming at, you know. So it's like this whole war is just fucked up across the board, man. So
and I'm not
I think the thing we need to remember is that the burden of being the good guy is that you have to be the good guy.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
You can't say like, but we don't have to because you guys did this. But like,
being a good guy doesn't win wars. That unfortunately, that's a thing.
But
that's the problem with war.
I understand that the Japanese military did all sorts of horrible things and committed all sorts of war crimes. So it's not like that. But I just feel like it should be, there's two, and again, I'm getting way off movies. I should stop.
Yeah, I know. Here we go.
I'm just going to stop.
Deep here.
It is definitely it's a dicey subject.
And they've been talking about it for probably mulling these arguments for 70, 80, 100 years, whatever. And they'll still be doing it long after we're probably dead. So we're not going to break any real new ground, I guess. So it's just.
So Fraser.
We're just venting
basically. Why does milk cost so much?
Okay. Oh, jeez.
I was going to mention, before we went way off subject, there was a show here. It looks like a cartoon, Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt?
That wasn't a cartoon. It was a scary live action.
That was in 93.
It was also a cartoon.
There was a cartoon, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, so maybe that's the cartoon, because I thought Tales from the Crypt came out before 93.
It did. It was an HBO thing, and but yeah, there was a cartoon that when it got really popular, so they made a little like a goof, you know, really lighthearted, you know, for kids, a cartoon, and there were tie-in books. I actually have some of the toys still from the cartoon. Wow. Yeah.
Was it it was hosted by that creepy old Crypt Keeper guy?
Yeah, the guy that was with the stringy skeleton hair and everything.
I just never watched it because he scared me, so I didn't realize it was a cartoon. I just
dude, he's so funny. He's the humor is great, and if you want to get like an entry level to it, man, go check out Demon Knight, the movie. I mean, that's a quick way to get your feet wet with Tales from the Crypt, and it's freaking hilarious.
He was funny.
Yeah, there's a few here, but some of them I have not seen.
But most of them you have not seen.
No, I mean I know Animaniacs. I know that.
We talked about that.
The brain to the max.
I can still sing the theme song too, man. I'm singing it in my head as you're going.
Crazy to the max. But Pinky and the Brain, you must have heard that. What are we gonna do tonight, Brain? Same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world. I feel like I never stop hearing that reference. Like at least
Pinky and the Brain.
To me, the standout show of '93 was Frasier.
Yeah, I wrote that down. That Frasier had started in '93.
Frasier.
Long ago.
Oh yeah, the Seattle's most famous show that wasn't filmed in Seattle.
Yeah, we talked about Seattle earlier today.
Oh, well, it's still standing, just so you know, just in case there are any. Portland, though, I can't vouch for that. We have to check in every night, so.
So I guess to wrap up '93, I guess
there was we haven't even gone over half the stuff that I wrote down. There was so much in '93. I'm really surprised at how much material there was that came out.
Oh, yeah.
And if I had been
Mel
here the whole
Gibson's
time, I would have just kept
directorial-
going, man. I would have talked my ears off. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's just there's so we could go on and on.
We
Honestly,
could have got it a lot
They could-
shorter, but some people had to distract us, lead us off topic. I want to could have been a lot tighter.
we all are guilty of this.
do it, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay. This was the year that Mel Gibson had his directorial debut. I just wanted to mention that as well. The movie
Man Without a Face?
Without a Face, yeah.
I knew it. I was guessing. Sorry.
No, I don't remember if I ever saw that, but I just made a note of that because it was something from '93.
It's actually a really good movie. Nick Stahl, who played John Connor in
Yes.
T3. He is young. He's young. He's in that movie, and it's actually a pretty adult subject matter. So it's actually a really good movie. I remember watching it as a kid on Q13 Fox. They played it late at night, and I would watch it like on Saturday nights. And I remember just thinking it was really good. It's actually a good drama. So he does good. He's not just a good actor. He's a capable filmmaker. Obviously, we know this now. But so check it out.
I've never seen it.
Has anyone seen Bill Murray's directorial debut, Man Without a Dick?
Oh my gosh!
It's true. This man has no dick.
Yes,
So bad.
that's good.
Yeah, Benny and June. I didn't write that down, but I did note it mentally that Benny and June had come out in '93. Quirky.
And that's when they got overlooked and got more popular as time went on. And
yeah, it was a quirky little kind of romantic sort of story with Johnny Depp and I can't remember. the girl.
all I can hear is 500 miles. I would walk
Yes,
500
I
miles whenever I hear
know,
that song. And I'm like, and that song had come out years before, but it wasn't until that one that it got whatever.
That was when I first heard that song.
Is it stuck in your head now? So
Was that movie? Yeah, thanks a lot, Derek. I was getting ready to say it's going to be stuck in
great
my
song.
brain.
sorry.
Yeah, I
my
think
Okay.
93 had a lot of good stuff that came out.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
Really.
Color me.
I
very
remember
surprised
Jurassic
by
Park
that.
was the first movie I saw multiple times in theaters. And I think I drove my dad crazy that summer because I remember counting that I saw it 8 times in theaters. 8
Oh my
times. I was,
God.
and my dad was just like, "Do you want to see anything else?" "No, I want to see Jurassic Park again." And and I remember coming out of the movie, and I it was so weird. It was just that weird time because you got to remember at that age. This is when we were talking about when they mentioned Power Rangers earlier too. When you're in those boyhood years where girls are still gross, but you start noticing them. And I remember having a crush on Ellie Sattler,
the girl.
on Laura Dern.
Oh,
Laura
Laura
Dern,
Dern. Yeah. her.
Yeah, but I didn't really know how to articulate that as a kid, and I was, but I can say, oh yeah, I thought she was cute or something like that. She was this fearsome young scientist. Anyways, I thought she was cool, and then there was Kimberly, the Pink Ranger from Power Rangers, and it's kind of funny when you talk about '93 and you're mentioning like, oh yeah, I remember I liked her, but I didn't tell anyone. I remember, and so.
Yeah, I had
Colin
crushes
might
on-
understand some of that because he sounds like he's about the same age. So
I had crushes on like the first thing I watched, like Inspector Gadget. I had a crush on Penny. I had like
Oh,
the Chipmunks. I had a crush on the female Chipmunks. I feel like I had a crush on girls as soon as I saw them on TV. I was like,
Oh,
well,
okay.
I had a crush on He-Man when I was a
We
kid.
all had a crush on some
Dolph
animated
Lundgren?
That guy, he did look a little bit like him, didn't he?
But that's
Yeah.
normal for women. It's Dolph Lundgren.
Not
Just
that He-Man.
give yourself
not
a
that
break.
He-Man, the cartoon He-Man.
what did you say?
I said,
I
did
was
you-
just saying, I think we all had a crush on some animated character.
yes, you were
Right.
in love with what's her name? Forgot her name.
Sango.
Sango. You wanted to marry her. Yeah.
Yeah, loved her and I wanted to marry her. Yeah.
Sin, did you record that reaction to Money Supermarket or?
Yes,
watch
I
it.
did. I did
Awesome.
record it. I haven't put it up. That was so funny. That was hilarious. There were 2. Are there any more of those, or is that the only one?
I think it's just the 2.
Oh, bummer.
I'll check.
Was that a real ad, or was that
It was,
just it was a real ad?
Mhm.
I thought it was like a spoof commercial. That's funny.
Nope.
And I had seen his character, like I'd seen the actor who played He-Man. I'd seen him in thumbnails, and I remember thinking, did they make some sort of like He-Man live action TV movie before? And I never heard about it. And
Oh, did you never see that movie? Masters of the Universe?
No, I'm not talking about the live action with Dolph Lundgren. I'm talking about like this little TV.
You're so Superman, whatever that was.
Yeah,
was that? Did you watch the Fame, or did you watch the Dirty Dancing one?
Both of them. They were both together.
They're hilarious, man.
I was like, so when they were doing the Dirty Dance, I'm like, are they going to do the lift? Are they going to do the lift?
See, we don't have those stores over here, so it's kind of like, what the heck's this? I never even heard of this. But then you're watching him, sing the Fame, and
the stores either. So that's what I thought maybe it was just a spoof commercial. I wasn't sure, but I would love it if we would see commercials like that here.
That would be great, man. It's I did like the DirecTV ones where they put like Ripley, from Aliens. Remember where she's in the power loader and they intercut. Those are pretty memorable, even though they weren't particularly funny. I liked that they did though. I tip my hat to those ones. But yeah, those He-Man ones were great, man. I remember they were hilarious when they were like 5 years old now or something. Or
I can't wait.
I like the DirecTV.
Yeah, 2018.
2018. I wish they would.
I like the DirecTV parts where they usually go through what all this that happens to you if you don't.
Upgrade.
What's DirecTV? Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Those are funny.
Don't reenact Platoon with Charlie Sheen.
Oh yeah.
Crushed on Daphne. Yeah.
I think a lot of people. You crushed on who?
Scooby-Doo.
No, Scoobs.
Oh my gosh, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog are going to be in a cartoon together. I can't believe it.
Whoa.
Dreams come true.
Yeah.
But 94 is definitely going to be a big one. We will probably be here almost all night.
I feel like, I wonder. Sometimes we have expectations for certain years, and then sometimes it ends up not being what we thought. So I wonder.
Yeah.
I think 93 could have used a sequel discussion. I mean, it's like such a great year. I'm reading the thing and I'm just like, I want to talk about. I could talk about that one. I could talk about that one.
Yeah.
But did anyone talk about Jason Goes to Hell?
No, but I saw it on the list.
That is a weird fucking movie. I'm sorry, that is just a weird movie. And I'm one of the huge Friday the 13th fans. You probably know this by now, Sin. I love Jason. I got so much Jason crap in my house. But that movie is just freaking weird. The scene where he's like, I don't know what guy, like in what brainstorming session they thought up the shaving. Jason decided to shave the guy like naked, and you're like, who the hell thought that up? And who didn't didn't flag that scene and go, no, we're not filming that.
Oh geez,
I don't know.
Seen that. I have not seen that. I'm not into the Friday the 13th. But so I know.
Oh, Mom, you gotta go in the corner now.
I gotta find a movie to recommend to Arturo.
Oh, okay. Well, you mean for 94?
Yeah.
The only thing that's coming to me is True Lies, and he hasn't seen that yet.
Interview with a Vampire? Anyone?
Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He has seen Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Natural Born Killers, Shawshank Redemption, Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects.
Okay. Here's what I've seen. I've seen Pulp Fiction, Lion King, The Mask. There was something else that I saw.
Was The Mask 94?
Speed.
Yeah.
Speed. Yeah. Speed. I saw Speed. And I thought I saw. I saw Pulp Fiction. So that's about 5 things I've seen.
Usual Suspects. I think you really gotta
watch.
That's
a good one.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro.
That's right, Benicio and the farting scene.
Oh yeah.
Right. That was a blooper, which I thought was funny.
There's a lot. Oh man, there's a lot of classics and good ones, but yeah, I think True Lies obviously and Usual Suspects. That's that's like a modern classic.
Yeah, that's one of my brother's favorites.
Time Cop.
Oh yeah, Time Cop. I like Time Cop.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's that scene where Van Damme does the splits in his underwear in the kitchen,
no, not that. Just because it's.
Sorry, wrong one.
Oh my
I'm just giving you shit.
I think I've seen about.
And Shawshank Redemption is pretty much a modern classic.
That's my brother Timothy's absolute favorite movie.
Super Mario Brothers.
No.
Oh, I wouldn't judge.
I was thinking of probably maybe watch that, but I decided to go with Demolition Man.
Oh yeah, Demolition Man.
No, we're getting. Yeah, I think he's referencing. He thought about watching.
Watch Demolition Man. It's a great comedy, and it's one of those.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Sorry.
Yeah, and we were talking about how relevant it is because of how snowflakey everybody is in society, or most of the people there
Right.
were so snowflakey. It's like
It's one of those movies you look at that I always tell people when they're doing these like assessments of what the future is going to be like. They're always usually so off the board, so off the wall, or they overshoot it by like, in 20 years we're going to be flying cars, and you're like, and then 20 years come and we just got these touch cell phones. You know what I mean? They overshoot it so much, but Demolition Man, while overshooting it to a comedic degree, they got the culture down. So it's like one of those movies that nailed where we were heading in 20 years, And,
I know, and I had forgotten that they had done that. I had forgotten that it was just like, wow, this is so relevant to today.
Like when Wesley Snipes gets out, when they try to arrest him, and the cops are just like these, weaponless, neutered, give him an ultimatum or whatever, I was just like, and say, or else. And you're just like,
yeah, right.
It was just hilarious.
Say it in a stern voice.
In a firm tone of voice.
It was so funny.
I love that movie.
The scene where Sylvester Stallone was he went up to the place where they would spit out the tickets if you said a bad word, and he just goes on a blast of all these.
He did that because he needed toilet paper.
Right.
Toilet paper.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. And you're just like, and then Dennis Leary's rant at the end of the movie when Dennis Leary living underground. If I want to go, and he's just basically listing off all these American things. If I want to do that, I'm going to do it. I can do it. And then he drives that old outlawed, Oldsmobile 442 or whatever it was, and you're just kind of like, yep, think of California today, and look, and they nailed it, and look at that, no more gasoline engine cars, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
and his rant is just, even though obviously me not being a vegetarian, when he's talking about eating a rat burger, I'm just like, well, it's God bless America, so it's like, so it's a good movie, good movie,
definitely. Okay, guys.
Yeah. I guess I gotta pick which movie to watch for 94. I've seen about 5, maybe.
True Lies. True Lies
for sure. True Lies 100%. But Usual Suspects also.
Yeah, that's good.
Natural Born Killers is actually a really interesting film to watch.
Oliver Stone said it was a reflection of the sensationalism of the 90s. So if you want to get a feel for for like 94, go for that.
I second that. It's really good. Quentin Tarantino did the script, and you like Tarantino.
Yeah, he's right. And plus, you will see, if you can find, I don't know which version of the film you'll see. There's a couple floating out of there, but that get the whatever the director's one where it's like Ashley Judd is in it, and there's just so many people that if you have so many people that you're just like, oh my God, how do they fit so many stars in this movie? You know what I mean? And just little roles, and it's great, man. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big year.
Honestly, I get that mixed up with California and also True Romance for some reason. Those 3, I get them.
Oh, True Romance, man, that movie is awesome.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
That scene with Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper, the Cantaloupe, that one. I mean, they could never do that today. That's just good. It was just a great scene, but you could never write that dialogue today. I'm surprised Tarantino if that wouldn't cancel Tarantino today, nothing will. He's bulletproof. So he's cancel proof. You know what I mean?
There's so much that could, like so many great films from back in the 80s and 90s that couldn't. That
a lot of them will kind of try to save their skin and disavow them or something like that. You know what I mean? And I love Tarantino's unapologetic stance to it. Whatever. Don't like it, don't watch it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Derek.
No, I was just saying, you don't like it, don't watch it. But no, go for it, bud. You're up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the filmmakers that I appreciate in today's Hollywood is Quentin Tarantino and Guy Ritchie. They're the only ones that seem to know how to just go ahead and tell a good story and
with really interesting, flawed characters.
Yeah. And and that's what's great, because those, like you were saying, I like that Tarantino has the muscle, kind of the clout to still be able to make what he wants, and they'll kind of let him do even stuff that would be taboo or cancel worthy for someone else, or you know what I mean? And they'll kind of just let him do what he wants to do. So that way you get these, basically writers and artists kind of making things just however they want to make them. They're not being hindered by whatever the collective mob is saying is tolerable. And to me, that's a really destructive force. You're not going to get honesty. You're not going to get, growth. You're not going to get good art out of these people if they're going to think, oh, well, can I actually make that? Is that I want to make this? I want to write this. I want to say this, but I can't. You know, I'm afraid they're going to ruin my life if I do this. I'm not going to have a job. That shouldn't be sitting over their heads. You know what I mean? And so that's why I like that. At least for now, we got, like you were saying, Guy Ritchie, who's made some pretty dark stuff, and he's not afraid to laugh at it too, which I like. He puts humor in very dark scenarios, you know what I mean? And Tarantino does that too as well. And so I think those kind of guys, thank God, they've held on and are still being able to make movies. So hopefully we'll get over this PC thing, you know, whatever phase this is, and we'll get back to making funny, witty, dark stuff again. You know, I look forward to that day.
We won't. We won't. The driver behind it is the streaming services. I'm trying to appeal to the 4 quadrants, so we're not gonna.
Yeah, like I just want a good story. That's all I want.
I think a lot of people want that, so I don't know.
Well, we just got to start being more vocal about it, because they're bean counters, man. They make the most knee-jerk reactions. Whatever group's loudest, they usually listen to, even how overstated they are.
Isn't really able to do much financially to them. They are just afraid of it. They're afraid.
Like, look at how they kowtowed the comics. Like Marvel threw into the SJW crowd. I'm like, those people don't buy your comics, you know. So you just appease the group that just basically stomps their feet, you know. And it's just like, that's a different topic.
If there was ever an indication of how these types of people that complain like that, if there's ever a revelation that they're not really a fan of what they're complaining about, it was that thing that happened when the Mortal Kombat trailer came out.
Oh,
I think the website was Jezebel. I think it was their site, and they wrote an article complaining what was that character's name?
Chun-Li.
Yeah, they were complaining, why wasn't she in here? It's like, you idiot. You're not even a fan. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. She's not in Mortal Kombat.
I'm pretty sure that was a parody, though.
You think it was a parody?
Yeah. It's just too out there.
Well, Jezebel is usually one of those cringy feminist, we're just mad at the world sites, you know. And
I don't know. I'll have to dig further into that and see. But honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't parody.
I mean,
but you're right; it's so ridiculous.
Chun-Li is in like Street Fighter.
Yeah, she is.
Street Fighter.
Sonya Blade was Mortal Kombat, which I still haven't seen that the new one. I mean, I Annihilation was just so embarrassingly bad.
I've heard.
That was a long time ago, though. This is like
we will get to that.
It was what? What's that, Colin?
Oh, just that I haven't seen it, but the new one looks like it's a whole new thing. Like Annihilation was like a long time ago with this Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're not connected.
Has anyone seen it?
Just left a bad taste.
You talking about the new one, Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a review of it. I watched it. I got they were doing like an online advanced screening. So
you saw the movie?
Online. Yeah, and I did a review of it. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was, but I'm not super into Mortal Kombat, but even I don't feel like I really have to be to appreciate if a story is decent. So I had issues with it. It was fun to watch, but I had little.
Same here. The biggest of which was that the main character Cole, his like power was it Arcana?
I heard he's not even in Mortal Kombat. He was not even.
He isn't. No.
Yeah, so see, I went in not knowing that, and some people were.
But his power is a Versace shirt.
Yeah, right. It was like I'm watching this, and I have no idea what I was like. Okay, but people who are fans of it and know, and they're like, he's not even in there, and then they're like, there was talk that the reason that
I can see the logic behind it, because I mean, you don't play favorites by having a certain character as the protagonist, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's supposed to be Mortal Kombat. When you just picked whoever you want, and that's who you were, you know. And then you watch, the original film, and they basically picked the 3 or 4 heroes, and then they told you who were the villains, who were bad, who was good. And I love the first one, the '95 one, as a kid, and I can still watch it now, and it works. I think it's got a lightheartedness to it. It works, you know. So I don't know what to think when I go in, because I've never seen Annihilation and just being hurt.
You might like the new and okay. I mean, obviously the special effects and fight choreography and everything is probably better, and there's some gnarly scenes in there, but some people were.
Well, as long as there's no white guys coming in to save the day,
Well,
I guess
actually,
it's.
that is why they did not have what's his face. Is his name
Johnny Cage.
Yeah, they didn't have him in there because they didn't want a white guy.
I remember reading that and being doubly offended, not only as a white guy, but then Johnny Cage was my favorite part of the first movie. So it's like, oh hell no.
Yeah, they hint at him like as in a possible sequel, but he didn't show up.
Johnny Cage was the funniest part of the first. Have you seen the original Sin?
I may have a long time ago, and then forgot about the details.
He was the fun part of it.
Was
those were $500 sunglasses, asshole? You know, it's like stuff like that. You know, it's like lines, and I love that scene in the beginning when he's fighting you don't know it's a movie, and he like goes, "This is the part where you fall down now." And then the guy like, throws himself, and you know, he's like, "Where do you get these guys?" You know, and he walks off set like a drama queen. You know what I mean? And then they get this caricature of Steven Spielberg, who it's not really him, but it's you look at it and it's Steven Spielberg. He's directing the movie. He goes, Johnny, don't go, don't. If you go, they're gonna have me directing traffic. Johnny, oh geez, get Johnny. You know, and it's just like it's just fun scenes. You know, and
wow,
yeah, but.
Okay,
Jeff, sometimes I do, in answer to your question, but I do know that some people don't get notifications. So I don't know why that happens.
I don't know what it is. I just, when I see my reminder, that means it just pops up my homepage when I go to YouTube. I don't know.
Sometimes it sends an email, like if I'm going to watch someone live streaming, and I'll put set reminder if I'm subscribed to them.
Oh, I haven't got that.
Or if I set reminder, then I will get an email, but I don't always get an email.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a little buggy. So sorry about that if that didn't happen.
Cole Young's
boy, it's 12.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
wow.
I know.
It's like our longest talk yet.
I know, my gosh. It had and see that the StreamYard plan we're on will cut us off at 4 hours. So we can't go more than 4 hours. We can never go more than 4 hours. Yeah, because like whatever tiers that StreamYard has, I think ours is like at a limit of 4 hours.
Well, that's good.
I read that if I make my account, I can actually change my profile picture and like put like Simon does, put like Boomstick Man and S Smart, you know. So I tried to put a picture of some sort, but you know, I'm just talking on my phone. That's why I don't use the camera, because it would be like I'm walking through my house. I got dogs, you know, and so yeah, I'm gonna probably log in and do that. I want to get pictures so I can.
Yeah, do that. That'll be fun.
So
okay, well, this is fun, you guys, but it's super late here. It's going to be 1 o'clock in 20 minutes. I've got a video to edit.
Yeah, but don't you usually make another pot of coffee at like 3 a.m. Sin? Isn't that usually how you're okay? 9
to 9:30 is usually when I have my. But I actually had it at 8:30 before we started the stream, so I wouldn't.
That was in your 40s. Now you're actually holding yourself to a bedtime. Yeah, so, yeah
I know. I'm gonna try to be in bed by 3 this morning.
Okay, well, sorry I popped up late, but I love talking about 93 with you guys. That was cool.
Yeah,
glad you could join us, and we'll let you guys know whenever we can figure out a 94 time. And Derek, I still would like to do the Arnold discussion whenever, if you ever want.
Oh yeah. No, that's good. I'm gonna when I finally send you your thing, you'll have Last Action Hero now. So
you weren't supposed to tell me what was in. I was going
to. No, I already asked you if you wanted that one. So I thought when you said, "Oh yeah, I don't have that one on Blu-ray."
That's right. Okay, I thought it was supposed to be a surprise.
Like, do you want this for Christmas? Sure. No, and then surprise.
I kept meaning to ask too, Joe, where Joe was. I like.
He said he wrote, and he said that they were in Vegas on vacation, and he said if he was able to, he'd try to pop in, and he said something funny like, maybe I'll just be on voice or something because the backdrop of the streets and everything. He said, but here I don't think that anybody would look funny at me if I'm talking on the phone about so I married an axe murderer or something like that. He said
nobody you're at the craps table or hitting the slots, at the same time, and that'd
so
be
I was like, if you can join, that's fine. If you can, that's no problem. But
cool.
All right. Well, this is fun, you guys.
Yeah,
Derek, I'm gonna message you later about Black Widow at some point.
Okay, Black Widow was good. If anyone hasn't seen it, I liked it.
Yeah, I want to talk about it. I'm disappointed to see all the hate it's been getting.
It's like Wonder Woman 84. It's a scaled back, smaller thing movie. It's hard to come down off Endgame and Infinity Wars, whereas the end of the universe type stuff, and then now you're, doing. Or it's just we can chalk it up to misogyny, whatever.
Yeah, so go ahead, Simon.
I was going to say the honest trailer for Black Widow came out today. It was kind of good.
The what did?
Honest trailer.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah. I never really have watched those.
A villain have harnessed the most powerful power in the world. Girl power.
I expected at the end when all the widows were there and it would be like, thanks for coming. She was like, we're girls. We support women. I almost expected that line to be that cringy ass line to be there, and thank God it wasn't. But
it wasn't.
Girls get it done.
Yeah.
I was frustrated because there is still this prevailing narrative that the film is like woke and anti-male, and none of the males all the males in there are either bad or incompetent, and that was not the vibe that I was getting.
No, I wasn't either.
It doesn't matter what you say; they are convinced, and all these clickbaity thumbnails and titles from some of the content creators, and I'm like, this is really aggravating. Actually,
I thought it was a good way to make
a tone. That's what they say it's going to be, and that's it.
I thought it was a good way to make a female, what you would, if you even pay attention, at a female-driven thing. I mean, obviously you're not blind; you're going to notice that there's Scarlett Johansson starring in the film, but it didn't feel heavy-handed in that sense. It wasn't like, men are bad, they were just they're okay, women are in the roles, and I don't care, I'm watching the movie, you know what I mean? There was it didn't feel like an agenda was being pushed on you. Like some of them you'll hear from director, you did see Paul Feig's name up there, and so immediately I kind of, oh shit, am I in for a sermon again? But it wasn't there. I didn't see it, so
it's not really, Jeff. I mean, the main bad guy is an absolute misogynist for sure, but he's a bad guy. So, but the narrative it just didn't feel like
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's the Tony Stark one, and I've got one. I'm gonna put it up back here somewhere too. He got like 3 of them from work.
Oh, cool. I got the Black Widow poster from
3000.
That's cool. I got the Black Widow poster from Disney for like 400 rewards points when they had that hot reward. It's with her in her white outfit, or what the advanced poster, and it's a cool looking poster. And I might actually hang that one up. And I didn't know how I'd like this movie, so if I wanted to even burn the poster or some, or I don't know, or if my 3 seashells didn't work, I had a backup. But it was. No, I like Black Widow, man. So
and
again,
was so good. She was really good in there, and I love that they picked on Scarlett Johansson and all the posing that she.
Oh yeah, you are such a poser when everybody look at you.
What do you think with the arm and the hair and the arm and the hair?
They're really good poses, but you just think everybody's looking at you.
Well, I like how she was like straining herself while she was doing it. Like it was so uncomfortable to do, and it's like
this thing that you do when you're fighting with the arm and the hair.
Oh, that was so funny. I
like when the Crimson guy I liked that they had the nerve when he's like trying to fit on the outfit, where they go, you got fat, and it was just like, oh shit, I didn't think they were allowed to joke about that today.
Only to guys, probably.
Oh, right, but because
the thing is, he did get fat. His character did, so she was just saying. But that scene at the dinner table was, I could talk about this movie for a while.
I love the banter. It was lighthearted. It had good lightheartedness, levity to it.
But it was also kind of dark and sad. That intro with the Nirvana song, the credit intro. Oh my god.
The best MCU intro to date.
I think that's probably the best one I've seen.
I liked Olga Yureninko in the task.
Well, I didn't like that part. That was actually my least favorite part.
Well, I thought she was just a waste. It was like, why did you put her in there? She's actually a good, capable actress, and then you just wasted her. And you can tell that, I mean, was it just me, or did it look like there was a male stunt double under the suit the whole time? And
because they didn't give her any lines because she had the proper accent, and it would show everyone else up.
Okay.
See, Yes, I found out. So when I watched the trailer, and I mentioned this in my reactions to the trailers, I got the vibe that Taskmaster was a woman because he moved like a woman. And my brother Timothy, he was like, we were both talking about that. I was like, I think it's going to be a girl, and I thought I knew who it was. I was wrong about who it was, but then I'm watching the movie, and yeah, in some scenes he's definitely moving he just kind of more fluid the way he's moving. And then there's other scenes where maybe it does seem like he's moving like a guy. But then I did find out, yes, it was a male in the suit the whole time doing
Girl
all
power.
the work. But then they took the helmet off, and to me, that was the worst part about it. I thought that was kind of dumb.
Well, it kind of cracked me up. I was watching it, thinking that kind of like my snark, but like Ruby Rose, you know her, the amazing actress. She's great.
Not.
I know. No, well, she did this movie called The Doorman recently that came out, and she's sitting there going, what attracted me to the script was all these strong women kicking butt and doing all these great things, blah, blah. And I look for things that give women strength, and then you're watching the behind the scenes stuff, and her fight double for every fight scene is a little Asian man. And you're kind of like, oh, so you want to pretend be strong woman, not really be strong woman. So sorry, I get kind of snarky when I see that shit. You know what I mean? You're just like, couldn't even get a female stunt double here. It's like,
that's funny.
I actually had a thought the other day. Is Ellen Ripley a crazy cat lady?
The original one, she went back for her cat.
Oh, okay. I was like, again. Right over my head. It's been a while since I've seen Alien, so.
And Jonesy was just a little token. He got tossed away in the second movie. Like one scene, he was out of there. She should have took Fury 161 or whatever that was. And why couldn't they clone Jonesy for Resurrection? I don't get this stuff.
And if she is, that's fine. And she's a cool cat lady.
No, she's badass. She was cool.
Some cat ladies aren't that bad.
Right? Exactly.
Shopping for meals for one, boxes of wine, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Okay.
I have a cat, so I can't say anything. So I gotta.
Okay.
Then there's even crazier rat ladies.
All right.
Oh no. Game over, man. Game over.
All right, Simon. You are not invited to the 94 discussion.
You were cut off.
I could send him links to
I am a crazy cat lady. Yes, I will admit that.
You have
rat
cats?
Lady.
Crazy cool.
Rat lady. Crazy rat lady.
Well, I have cats and a guinea pig. They live in harmony. So
I don't want to talk about cats in front of my daughter because she's been begging me to get a cat, and we already have 3 dogs and 2 rats. And
give her a guinea pig, man.
We almost got a guinea pig, but then we ended up getting rats instead.
Oh, well, they're still cool. Guinea pigs are whatever. So
they are.
We had 1 cat, but that was because we rescued it.
No, he was being sarcastic.
Sorry, disclaimer, I was being a smart ass. I apologize. Cat's out of the bag. I'm sorry. No, Ruby Rose should not be allowed to be in films, in my opinion. But hey, she's someone who makes more money and makes better decisions than me, thinks differently. So hey,
well,
I guess that's why I don't make the big bucks.
Quite photogenic, but she does not have acting.
She's very angry all the time. I don't like that. Well, I mean, she looks like just an angry creature, and I guess if that
looks inflated.
She looks what?
Huh? Like she's been blown up. She looks like an inflatable doll. There's something about her. It's just
really,
Oh no! Yeah, no.
Like the kind you find in an adult store, or
no? It's just she looks like I don't know. I'm trying to think of the way to describe it. She just looks all rounded and like.
Really?
Maybe mannequin-esque? Like, I don't know.
She's kind of bony.
Yeah, but it's just she's got these very round cheeks and these very round lips and these very round everything.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
With the body of a teenage boy, it's weird. It's
yeah. Oh,
she should put on about 100 pounds and be a real woman. So.
Yeah, she's so tiny. She looks
again tongue in cheek. I'm being a smart ass here. No shame.
No, I know, but she does. I understand she hurt herself too when she was on the Batwoman or whatever.
Was it from scowling so much?
Maybe she put her
she
back
dislocated
out.
her jaw. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it was her back.
Okay. Well, she should have used another little Asian stunt double man, fight double.
We're getting catty.
We are getting catty
right now.
Well, better than ratty, because don't rats just like rip your face off and like
yes, they do. They get hungry enough. No.
That's amazing.
Okay. Well, then I will officially bow out. Thank you guys. It was a great talk, and I enjoyed it.
Fun.
Yeah, this was fun.
Derek, Simon, Arturo, and Sin. It's been fun. Good night.
Yes, it has. We'll be in touch for the next one. Thank you guys so much. And Simon, I hope you can get some rest.
1994. Here we come.
What? Sorry?
I said I hope you can get some rest. I know it's super, super late for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's super early here.
Well, yeah, I know.
6 a.m.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man, really?
Oh, that hurts. I'm 35, and that just hurts. I can't stay up that late, young, whatever anymore, man.
6 o'clock. Yeah, he's got a different time clock than we do. So
yeah, I work from home. The only thing I gotta do tomorrow is a meeting at 2 p.m. So
ooh,
that
doesn't leave you a lot of time to sleep. You need to go to bed.
You got
like 8 hours, and like I can't sleep in this heat anyway. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys are. I heard you.
Yeah, I wish there was something that could be done for that problem, Simon.
You don't have you guys don't use AC much?
No, we never really had a use for it. So
like Derek, when Washington had a terrible heat wave and they didn't have air conditioners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 110, 114, whatever it was. No AC, but we're not accustomed. I don't know. It's just AC is not a common.
It's like us with, snowplows and stuff. Like we just don't invest in that a lot because it's not something that affects us much. But when it does,
and then when it happens, you all think, "Oh shoot, I got to go buy a snowplow," and then the John Deere's all sold out of them, and you don't know what to do now.
Right, exactly.
Lunchtime in Malaysia.
Oh wow, lunchtime! Holy cow!
Sheesh.
It's a whole half day ahead of us. All right, you guys.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks again.
Yes, same. Yep. Thanks to everybody. Stay
Peace
well.
Out.
Take care. Hope you get invited back next time.
Oh, you will. You will.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Despite the snark about rat ladies.
I'm kidding.
I know. We'll see you.
Awesome.